Yo, slow, loud, and banged, and all in my trunk. Trunk full of funk. I ain't never been a punk. I blow on skunk. I blow on Doja. Military minded. I'm just a brother that's here. Blessed to have y'all. Highly favored. Want to bring y'all back as we take this movement and deliver it to your ear as we keep it a buck and keep it a beam. But most importantly, we gonna keep it clean with y'all. How my brothers doing today?
What's going on, man?
What's happening? What's happening?
That was
Man,
nice.
I
That
like
was
that.
hey,
nice.
I like that. I
That was
like that.
good. That was real. That was
hey,
fire.
hey.
Yeah, yeah. You on
Shout out to
time today?
Slab, man. Shout out to Slab. I'm on timing, man. We outside. We in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Texas. I'll always be a Texas representative. And while we here, really quick, shout out to Jackie. I know they took you out because of the DEI, but we still gonna represent for what you do, and we never gonna forget. But we back after, man.
Facts.
Who want to go first, dog? We gonna start with Rose, man. We always save Rose for last. Rose, what was your week looking like? What you want to keep it clean with and get it off your chest?
Man, shit, this week was cool, bro. It was chill. I kind of got back to my intense workout, so I've been moving a little slower. You know what I'm saying? Trying to
Okay.
build my shit back up. But that's really what I've been focused on, just physical and mental health this week. Um, Getting ready for upcoming weeks and really just getting ready for just a run like spring, summer, trying to get my mind right for that. But other than that, I ain't do too much, bro. I ain't do too much.
Okay, man. What you want to just have a quick moment to keep it clean about what happened this week that you just get it out there. Just get the pod started.
I mean, you know me, that shit just gonna come out anyway. I ain't got nothing off the top of the dome.
That's all
I'm
right.
sure I,
That's
I'm
all
sure
right.
I go on a rant mid pod.
Well, all right, Mr. St. Lou, Midwest, Ev, at Ev Rogers, man. What was your week looking like?
What's up? What's up? My week, man, it was pretty slow. It was pretty chill, man. Just worked out. You know what I'm saying? Making sure my physical mental health, as Rose said, was in order, intact. It was real chill. I'll be honest, man. I ain't gonna even run it too long, but had a good week. And what I'm gonna keep it clean about, I'm sorry, Jimmy. I gotta circle back to you, man. You came out with, you coming out with some diplomat, some new attire. You came out. It's called, your brand. It is Please Delete Friday. Everybody, please take note of what each of those initials were. Please delete Friday. Yeah, he has on the acronyms. He has PDF on his shirts, on his design. His design is just says PDF, and we all know PDF files. Adobe Acrobat, all that. We know those good documental things that you use it for. But now, since in the last awakening of the TikToks and social medias, you can't say words how you really want to say them anymore. So we've shortened them to initials and letters of PDF. So yeah, he's gonna have people wearing shirts that say PDF. That is not a good look. And
Let's let's keep it clean. Who buying that shirt?
uh his
Cause
friends,
Ain't nobody buying that shirt.
you know,
Ain't
does he have
nobody buying.
friends? Does he have friends?
they're gang members. Yeah, yeah, you heard them. The
Hey,
gang members. Yeah, you got
I
friends.
I saw someone tweet that Jim Jones has always and forever had dirty braids. Like we never seen Jim with clean braids. It looked like he wake
Bro,
up and brush his braids.
he forever looks like his Wire cameo appearance.
Oh, that's tough.
And that's what I want to keep it clean about is that at some point in life, you have to realize you're too old for things. He is too old because he doesn't know what PDF goes by anymore. And he's like,
Man.
please delete Friday. Let's go buy it. Please sell out.
Woo.
You being funny with Kanye, and it looked crazy to the youth. We
So,
Yeah, it
can't
looked
nobody
wicked.
wear that. Can't nobody wear that shirt, man.
so that's my keep
It
it
looked
clean.
wicked. I understand. All right. The other ATLian that we have on this pod, Mr. Nico, man, what was your week like? What it look like on the keep it clean front?
My week was cool. My week was pretty calm. I ain't gonna lie. Uh, Still training at the job. I did get my first check, so shout out to that. We got bread now.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Life is making sense again. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
That actually, that's my keep it clean. Listen, we've been on the Henry Ford model like 40 hours, you know what I'm saying, 5 days a week. And I don't know who necessarily like told y'all that a bi-weekly pay schedule was sufficient, but it's not. You know what I mean? Give me that bread. Like whether you salaried out, whether you hourly, whatever it is, give me my bread at the end of the week, man. Y'all got more than enough money. Y'all making all the come on, man. Give me my bread at the end of the week. That's my keep it clean. We need to redefine what the work week look like hour wise. I think we should rock for like 4 days. You feel me personally? And yeah, redefine what this pay schedule look like because y'all bugging. Y'all bugging. That's my keep it clean for the week, man.
I understand that. I understand that, man. I had a chill week, bro. I had a chill week. It's been my first week not traveling for work, probably within the last month or so. So I got to actually be at the house. I still went, kicked it with pops. We did some auto work, and quiet as kept. He don't know this. I do this thing where I act like I still don't know how to work on the car, just to get him to continue to talk about it, because I know that's our little bonding moment type of stuff, right? And our personalities, we would clash if I didn't, and I know this because it's one of those, y'all would ask me to teach you something, and I'd be like, yeah, but I still want to do it myself. You know that trust but verify. So you gotta let pops be pops. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool. I did swing out. I went to the Alamo for the first time since I was probably a kid. Because when you grow up in San Antonio, no one cared about the Alamo after the first time you seen it. But it was actually for the job and whatnot. So the week was chill, bro. The week was chill. I think my keep it clean moment is uh tone policing, bro. The tone policing has been at an all-time high. And is difficult because especially after we did our pod the other week and we watched YouTube brothers like get passionate about something. And I'm tapping into nowadays, man. People think just because you loud, you disrespectful, or you over there hurting feelings. And I'm gonna let y'all know, man. I've been on this motion. I'm keeping it clean. If it don't start with fact, don't approach me with feeling first. I'm not saying your feelings ain't valid. Only you could validate them though. But if you basing what your logic is solely off of feelings, I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy. I haven't been. I'm not going to be. I just want to let you know. We're going to start with facts first. Can we iron out the facts and then we're going to assess it? If not, go cry in the corner, go bite your pillow, go get in the car and let them tears out. Don't talk to me. That's where I'm at with it, bro.
And
That's where I'm
public
at with it.
public service announcement, just for the audience or anybody we may come in contact with and might have these conversations with. Me and Rose have known each other since we were 14. All right. That is not the first time we've argued like that. That's not going to be the last time that we argue like that. But the point is, we have a rapport that I
That
understand
too.
that whether he yelling or I'm yelling, it's still love. The rest of y'all, I don't know y'all like that. Watch your mouth, watch your tone. You heard?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know they locked in because Rose been there since Nick became a Cassidy fan on the cool way back
you
in the
gotta
day, bro. You know what I'm
you
saying?
gotta stop this. You have to stop
That's
this. I
nasty.
don't I don't know that man. You gotta stop this.
That's your favorite rapper, bro. Word on the cool is like I remember when you used to ghostwrite for him. That's how you and I met. It's like you used to give Cassie some bars and then he wouldn't use
And
them
we
when you go up
met
there
through
freestyling
me
in the battle and
ghostwriting
stuff,
for
bro.
Cassidy is
Bars is
where
back.
no. You actually hold on,
That
hold
was
on, hold on,
you?
hold on, hold on. Hold no, hold on. Actually, because we got
Wait, did you give
witnesses.
him those bars?
We got witnesses. Hold on. I'm not skipping this. We got witnesses. Rose, you was at the 2019 event that Cassidy battled Goods. We was there together. I booed that man the entire time. Did I not?
We all booed that nigga.
Come on, bro. We walked out on his third round. That's not, come on, man. You got to stop
But
this. This narrative is crazy. You got to stop. You got to stop.
I think I feel like you only booed him because he didn't use your bars.
That could be a point.
That didn't happen.
You
The
still did
bars.
not confirm nor deny.
I've never met Cassidy. I've never written a bar for Cassidy. I don't know Cassidy. I, listen, bro. I don't know that man. I don't know where this came from. I don't know where he got this from. Like, this is just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even. How do you even defend yourself against this? But he just threw this out of left field. Like, come on, man. This is crazy.
I'm supporting you and who you support, dog.
I
That's
don't
brother to brother,
support
dog.
Cassidy.
I acknowledge. Here we go, man. I know, man. You ain't got to lie for them. You ain't got to lie for them, bro.
I don't
There be
listen,
times
bro.
I want to put this out there for y'all. There be certain times Nico would call me, bro. We chill, and I hear Cass in the background. I was like, man,
He's
you doing the
lying.
science?
He's lying.
Nick be over here
He's
doing the science.
lying.
But shout out to you. But speaking of music,
He's lying.
the only rapper that has ever replaced Cass in Nick's eyes dropped a video last week. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar.
Cassidy to Kendrick.
He put
What
the
are we
Luther video
doing?
out.
Cassidy to Kendrick.
What are we doing today?
That's what I
All
said.
right.
When I found that out about him, that's what I said.
see
That's
what you.
crazy.
No,
That's a hell of a
I see
transition.
what you on today. You running point today. I see what time it is. All right. We
But
locked in.
Kung Fu Kenny dropped a video. He put out Luther. Who want to go first on their feedback?
I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna say, Rose, you were right. We said this last week, but no Kia. Hey, he's just waiting it out. He's just waiting out Drake. Get no Kia out of here. We're gonna get the real production in, and we're gonna keep this number one banging, and we're gonna slap you over the head so you don't get it. You were correct. I love the video. Um, I love what I think was going on in the video, and I want to say this is the first time we've gotten an actual tribute to Luther Vandross since he's passed away at all in music form or in video form. And it was amazingly done. So thank you, Kendrick Lamar. Thank you, SZA, because like my family is a big Luther family. So that's why I can say like this is like the first time since that man passed away we've seen something like that. And he never got a number one song. He didn't get a number one for that song. Because mind you, it's a remake of Marvin Gaye. He didn't get a number one for that, and so for that homage to be paid, and this song to be doing that in a homage to him, and the video. That's why I said it too. With the video, they actually designated areas and let Luther's original song. Carolyn Bell, I think is. I don't know the feature of the woman. I'm sorry, who was in that song, the original with Luther, but they let both of those songs. They let those verses just rock in the video, which was that's why I'm saying the tribute to him. So amazing video, and it's gonna keep the success of it going. So I love it.
I thought the video was some mid.
Hey,
So it was cool. Like it was alright. It was alright. Like 6 out of 10 type shit for me. The shots were nice. The cinematography was cool. But yeah, it's an R&B record, so I'm not expecting nothing crazy. Like I'm not expecting no super wild shots, but it was cool. Like, I'm ready to get the peekaboo videos and the I'm ready for that. Like this is cool.
It's that Cass in you. But to your point though, I do understand because it is a rapper doing an R&B video, so it's hard to place certain expectations. This wasn't meant to be the banger video, you know what I'm saying? But it had SZA, so you had to do something with the name attached to it. It is one of the bigger records. I do understand. This was one you had to do the video.
Yeah, you feel me? You feel me? So, but yeah, I thought it was some mid. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a real 6 out of 10. Nah.
I think him, to Ev's point, at least from my perspective, the fact that he let those verses play, that was one of those times where it felt like I could play that video or I could play this type of hip hop in front of my pops and my moms, and let it ride through. You know what I'm saying? Like it had that old school feel, and it was a smooth ride in the transition. But the song is so smooth. What are you supposed to really do with the video?
You dig what I'm saying? Like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like it, for me, I like Luther as a record. I like the record, you know what I'm saying? But like video wise, I would have rather like a Dodger Blue get the video than this one because I could see the video for that easier than I could see it for this type. But it was cool.
You can do more with it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's
Luther, you can only do literally kind of like the song tells you what the video can be. It's a love song. It's you can't go
No.
too far off.
too straight. You feel me? What you thought, Rose?
I mean, I'm kind of where you at on it. Like, I didn't think the video was mid per se, but it's just a video. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't extravagant. I don't think it's something I'm gonna go back and just
Right.
watch consistently. One thing I did, like when I seen it, I think about the impact that Solange had on the industry from one video,
That Cranes in the Sky.
the
Mm,
Cranes in the Sky
so,
video, and how
Mm-hmm.
just set design and minimalism and focusing more on sets that have like just crazy visuals per se can kind of just drive a video now, not necessarily the concept per se, but just the way
Yeah,
things look. So that's kind of what I thought about after I kind of saw the whole thing. But you know,
that's a
nah,
good take.
it's
That's a good
okay.
point. That's a good point, though.
this seemed like one of them videos where you could have benefited by having like a snippet of another song or another video within it, whether
That's
it be a future project or something like that. This seemed like one of those videos where you give a little drop and then continue.
That's what I thought was gonna happen at the end where the tribute was. I thought there was gonna be some type of like they got a good amount of video left. The song is pretty much over, but then it was that. I'm like, that's cool. I'm not mad at it like at all. Like shout out to it. But I was just like, yeah. It left. I'm not gonna say it left more to be desired because I wasn't expecting too much, but it like Rose said, it's just a video, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
And they
That,
had to make a video for a number one song. I
yeah,
think
Yeah,
maybe I was
yeah.
just expecting just more of a real. I'm not gonna say it didn't have a concept because obviously it did. It did have a concept, but it just I more could have been done.
Do y'all think he expected this song to be the number one when he dropped that? Because I don't know. I don't run through GNX, and at least my first couple of listens, I didn't think Luther was gonna be the number one track. I thought it was a dope track, but I didn't think it was expected to be the
Based
chart topper.
based off name, based
That's
off
him and
name.
SZA, yeah.
Yeah,
based off
based off
sample.
name. It's
Yeah,
like
sample.
Yeah.
this is the first, probably the first link up since the Black Panther album at this point, or at that
Okay.
point. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like this record. It got a bop to it. The 55555
It's real
all of that.
formulaic. It's a
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
formulaic
Yeah, it's
song.
a
And they got
real.
a Luther sample. Like
Yeah,
that song
that
is
was
meant to go number one.
gonna do that. That was gonna do that, and they
All right.
knew that was gonna do that. I
And
think I I didn't mean
No,
cut you.
you good.
To what Rose is saying though, I think with the way the kind of trend is now to use like art to inform the visual rather than like kind of the storyline or what's going on within the visual. I don't know, for this video, the art and the story didn't mesh all the way for me. And
yeah.
that's kind of what it is. You know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
that.
My nigga
All I
had
was
to
gonna say
stream
was
feature 3 videos.
that's a funny part of it too. But all I was gonna say was that when to your question about it, like was it the hit? Is that sample itself and how it came in, and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you picked a Luther song that wasn't you got rid. That was really that's a that's a cut. That's a damn.
Yeah,
What's
that's a deep cut.
B-side.
That's
that's
a
a
deep
deep
cut.
cut. B-side, B-side.
Yeah.
That's a B-side. So, and you got a B-side that people love. It wasn't a chart topper. So you got that and it's hard hitting. It's like, oh yeah, this is a perfect combination of everything to be a number one song.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the thing when you got SZA who coming off the year she was having and years she's been having, of course, and why not?
Did y'all think there was a clash? Because at least in the visuals, the smooth track in the shots of Kendrick and old girl versus it looked like SZA came with a different type of sexy that wasn't meant for this video. To me, when I was watching it, was like I'm not saying don't be sexy. I just thought with this track with Luther, her aesthetic looked more for a jumping off type video than a Luther. The
I get
smooth
what
melodic, you know what I'm saying? It looked like it clashed with the aesthetics because there was nothing wrong with how she looked. It clashed with what Kendrick was doing. Kind of to Rose's point, it didn't really tie.
It's a part with the part in the video where she do the it go in when you out ride it through. It's like the energy she has in that moment is like, I get it because that's the bop of the record, but it's like it's not matching what's going on type shit. Like I feel what you said. Yeah.
And that's the thing, kind of with Rose's point of like he didn't made the same face in all the video. That was part of, and to me, with the concept of this video, like in all of his clips, he's in all the black and white clips, he's looking like sad as hell, and he's not with the girl. But then the clips and colors when they together, and he's like lively. Like that was a part of that concept to me. It's just
look at you breaking down the. Hold on, man.
Come
on,
on, that's
man.
what I do.
Let's go.
But I agree with you with the SZA part. It was like, I ain't gonna lie, kind of like she was low key doing her Super Bowl performance again, in certain parts. A little bit, just some of the aesthetics. It was like the Super Bowl performance again, and I'm not knocking that.
And you know what? Now that you highlighted, that's what it looks like, though.
It is a clash how the song video is going.
Right, because when she did it at the Super Bowl, it's thinking about all the colors that were behind her, all the people moving around. You had the flashing light just from the fans being there, so that energy at the Super Bowl matched that aesthetic. But the visuals for the video still being more slowed down,
and then
it's
she
just
being
pretty
by
much
herself in some of them shots when she doing it. So you only focusing on her, and it's slow, black and white. It's like, oh wait, you going at like 1.5 while the vibe of the video going at a 0.75. Whoa.
I might have been happier if they did like a different POV from the Super Bowl. Like, just if y'all was gonna do this, just do a different POV from the Super Bowl, shoot the video there, and then just drop that. Like
type shit. Yeah, that would. I think that'd be hard.
That's another thing too. I want to add.
That would have been hard. Like
that would have been hard.
If you notice, it seemed like to me now I'm looking at from this video, the teaser video, the album artwork. I feel like they shot all of this stuff at the same time, or they're just going back to the same locations. Because if you look at the
Squabble Up video,
that too, like a lot of it kind of, it all looks the same because the opening when he's shooting somebody with the covered GNX, that looks like the same opening of the tiramisu part. Like it all, and the inside when he was sitting on top of a piano, that looks like the opposite end of the hallway that SZA was walking into. So it looks like they either shot it all together or they cheapening the budget because it's PG Lane.
That boy making the most of them content days, man.
Demanded too. Like you know, these are superstars. They probably had to shoot all this shit in 1 or 2 days just because the schedules lined up. So.
And the artwork, like the artwork for like the concert promo. If you look at the concert promo artwork, like when they were standing together, it looks literally like the opening when they in the Luther video when they sitting on the church pew side by side. Like it looked like they all probably ran it all together in probably like 48 hours.
I mean, because could you imagine when the fuck Kendrick and SZA would be free at the same time? Like
that, and
Super Bowl.
You know what I'm saying? You also add. It's like they were all there for the Not Like Us video, but the Not Like Us video had the Squabble Up snippet at the front side of it, right? So it looks like that was all together at the same time. Because even for the official Squabble Up video, that was a particular location. Because I was going to ask, even with the concept of him not doing the smiling thing, is that a thing that he's just on now? Because all these videos recently, it's been on that type of time. Not Like Us, Squabble Up, Luther.
The party died.
No smiles, man. Straight aesthetic. Okay.
The party died, bro. The party died. It's over. It's over.
But to Ed's point, I do think it was all that same day. Because think of the Squabble Up video. You had Tommy the Clown. You had DeMar DeRozan. You had all these people there. This is the only time you might be able to lock in. SZA is on tour, doing whatever she's doing. You know, it might be the only time. Yeah, I can see that. I think they did.
But also, that seems like such a bigger cultural moment that you have to do that correct. Like they probably shot that over multiple, which I know they did because I seen it on Instagram. But they shot that shit over multiple days. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the cultural relevance in the moment of that, you have to get that video right. Like this seemed like one of those things. All right, it went number 1 here, nigga. Like take the video.
The video a bonus.
Here, nigga.
Because it almost starts to look to an extent that a lot of GNX was already done even before the the shenanigans last year with Old Boy. So some of the songs
Oh
that
yeah.
he added to us was he was able to incorporate it, but it looks like he had already had this in motion. Now, what another takeaway I did have from the video, when they did cut to SZA and she was doing her thing, I was like, I know Wale misses her. And I hate that for the boy. I do. Because they used to date back
What are
together. I
you
said,
I
on?
didn't even know
I'm
Wale
on
was
different
fucking
Yeah, I'm
timing,
like,
bro.
when did Wale was
That's
dating
news to
SZA?
me. I
Wale
thought you
used
was
to,
gonna
yeah,
say Drake type shit.
oh man, I'm tired of mentioning dudes. I went further back. Wale and SZA were together when they did the girlfriend.
I didn't know they were
Uh,
together. I just thought that they
they were
were.
together. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm about to say
yeah, they
I'm
was
with
rocking
you,
out.
Ray. Like I'm tired of Drake. Like
You feel me? Like that's why I
I'm
said,
tired
oh
of this
boy,
nigga.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to say dude's name, bro.
Like
It's
nigga
like
tired of this nigga, man.
you know what I'm saying. But do you expect more coming soon? Do you think is he going to do another video, or is he tapped out on the videos for this? He's going to focus more on the next project.
I
The
think that's
thing
another
is,
video.
you just don't know. That's the thing. Like with Buddy is he'll build some momentum and then he'll just go away. Like, and that's just been his MO forever. Like, especially when niggas try to act like he not tapped in, but you know he is. Like he see everything and he hears everything. I think he get like he get gassed up from seeing fans be like, "Oh, some new shit coming, some new shit coming." And he'd be like, "Absolutely not." He said it in the song, like, "Hey, Doc, can I get a drop?" I'm like, "Nigga, no." Like, nigga, no. Like, y'all can't get nothing. Like,
Oh shit.
I think he get gassed off that. And I think it's one of those things he had been talking about too, is just like the integrity of the art, bro. Like, it's just what he creates is not necessarily fast food art. Like, and it just take a little more time to create. Now, will I say that take 4 or 5 years to make at a time? Like, who the fuck am I to say that? Like, this is a Pulitzer Prize winner. Like, obviously that shit worked.
Mhm.
But some of these songs when I hear them, I'm like, I don't know if that was I don't know if that was
Young.
4-year work, bro. Like,
I mean, well, with this album specifically, I think he took his foot off the gas of like trying to be so in depth type shit. Yeah, I don't know, bro. It's like I'm sad because it's like we got all of this music, and it's like you kind of settle back into reality. Like we was gassed up talking about he finna drop a deluxe, we finna get a whole other extra album.
Facts.
Once it's kind of dwindle down, you start to settle in, you like, oh bro, we might not see this man for 7 years.
Man,
especially with the tour coming, bro. Like niggas finna be on tour for a minute. You niggas are
He might
getting
be gone.
nothing.
Yeah.
but
You're getting
I do
nothing and you're
think
gonna like it.
we are we're looking at that group on their retirement tour between him and Cole. The other boy, his retirement is looking something different. He's getting exited, but we're watching the man. I'm just gonna fade into the background tour. Even if you want to include Big Sean, the way that he's kind of handled himself, especially since him and Janae started dating, just it's been
No,
more. I drop sometimes, but it's I'm, I'm
no.
talking about the group, bro. I'm just talking about the group, bro. That era is kind of accepting. I feel like those parties are going to be different than the ones we saw before, where Kanye, Rick, and Wayne still want to continue to rap a lot and put out more music a lot into their 40s and that type of stuff. But this next wave after them is just more, man. I'm cool. I just want to be at home. I want to be with the family. I'm not trying to live that lifestyle for forever.
And I feel you, but the thing is, Drake and Cole be dropping. Like it's not like they don't drop. Kendrick is the one that kept it the same way all the way through.
Mhm.
But he ain't never changed. He ain't never continuously dropped music. He not a feature artist, so you ain't really gonna get no features from the nigga. It's just Buddy moved to the beat of his own drum. Like he don't follow no trends. You don't know what he gonna do. And like I said, I think he gets an excitement out of niggas fiending. Like he
Oh yeah,
likes that shit.
I agree with that. But the only reason I think that more is coming is because it's been he has to capitalize on certain moments. Like people don't realize he just pushed this movie that he was supposed to have coming out to next
Mhm.
year. That's gonna extend the run in a way for me, I think, because you can't go back inside and hide now because now you got to promote the movie now because it's supposed to come out this year. Now it's next year, and this is something people don't realize. He ain't seen Grammy season Virginia next yet. That's 2026 as well, and we already in
True.
April.
And
And
ain't
Luther
nothing else
still,
dropped.
and think about it. You think Luther not gonna be in the song of the year, record of the year next year? Like
Yeah.
not like so, and that's why I think he's gonna capitalize because and that's why I say another music video is coming because we've already seen clips of him in the back of a car, like and that was driving with the kids. That wasn't the Luther video we seen. That was the Luther video. So there's got to be
Mm.
something coming for that, and I
This,
think
but see, this is where you naive, my
you
brother.
if he
You
has
don't
no
you
a
don't
music
know
video
Baby D
though.
like I know Baby D. Like
But and I'm saying it though because I mean we seen it with the Black Panther album. He capitalized on that, and he had a run where he was dropping something for every year for about 3 years in that regard.
If tell me who the bitch nigga hating on me,
never getting that song.
jumping on my, but the ain't
All right,
free
I
to
get you.
pit, and we're
I,
like I'm of the belief we may never get the tiramisu record ever.
Yeah.
oh
I,
yeah,
I've
oh
Ever.
yeah.
chalked it up to that.
Like I'm of the belief at this point of like that little snippet that I got, I'm gonna just have to hold it close to my heart and let it be what it is because we may never see that. Like I think some more videos probably coming for sure. Probably I want a peekaboo video, but maybe not.
TV off for certain.
The TV off for sure. I think there will be a video for that for sure. But outside of that, another project,
Oh,
another
niggas think they
coming
getting
off
too
of
much. Too.
a
That's
stadium tour
done.
and all of that. Like they talking about some. Oh, he got the GNX covered, so is another. No,
No.
Nah.
let me tell.
Remember
No,
you niggas did this with Damn when you was trying
with
to
the
play the album
play it
backward.
backward. No, what's
And he
hold on
said, you know what? Let me release the album backwards.
backwards, and y'all pay for that.
Y'all pay for that too.
Let
That
me
nigga
let me
don't
t-
care,
let me
man.
tell y'all like he told you he ain't coming.
He ain't coming.
He ain't coming.
That's tough, man. Remixing his own stuff and selling it back to you is the definition of hustle work, bro.
That's the industry.
He
That's
was
a
You
so,
fact.
feel me?
and
But
that was the craziest joint to me because I'm like, wait, y'all didn't got this so played to where he didn't re-released it. You could have just made that a playlist on your
Yourself.
own
on your
time.
own because
Like,
it like. But that's why I'm laughing because to do that is like, first of all, hey, dog, here's Blue Magic, and then a year and a half later, hey, but I got this Magic Blue. I got this Magic Blue, right? It's that new crazy work, bro. Like
Funniest shit
that.
is he said, oh yeah, I mean, if you listen to it backwards, it's just a different story.
And
I
you know
said,
what's
my
crazy,
nigga,
bro?
who are
and
you
it ain't.
talking to?
With that damn album
Who the
specifically,
fuck are
bro.
you talking
I've
to?
I just listened to it backwards for the first time this year, and this is the thing. My homie was telling me, "Hey, you listen to it backwards; it's a different story." I said myself, "I'm never listening to it because I don't have the time to go make a playlist of it backwards." And then he's the one that told me, "No, man, you don't realize
He did it for you.
he came out with the collector's edition. Go look it up in your phone. It's backwards." It's a
So
different cover too.
is
I
it the
look it
beginning
up.
of the end or the end of the beginning? Stupid
I
ass.
look at it. I'm
You
like,
don't care about that
wait,
shit,
he really
man. It's the
did
same
this.
songs.
I'm like, wait, he
You don't
really
care
did
about that
this.
shit.
I'm like, why did he do this? I'm like,
Oh,
he just gave
yeah.
niggas a he
You
just
know,
gave niggas a shuffled playlist of an album,
Hey,
and it
and that's
because
how
worked.
that's the
you know
wicked shit.
that is
Hey,
a
this
Compton scammer. That's
hey,
what
but
they
this is the
do.
crazy part.
That is a
This is where the
Compton
nerds.
scammer. They said Lil Bro used to run off on the dice and just pick the dice up. That's what that was. He just picked the dice up like, come here. Let me
No,
go
because
ahead and
I ain't gonna lie, because you do gotta kind of like look at it like, hold on, man, hold on. I'm gonna give you the album. I'm gonna get the Pulitzer Prize for the album. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, the Grammy season, the tour, the whole thing. But check this out, check this out, check this out. You ever thought about playing it backwards,
Bro, because
nigga?
all right, look, This is the crazy part, right?
Nah, do the science, nigga.
This,
Hold on, bro.
Nah, because I was about to say this is where this is where the Kendrick nerds step in and they start reaching like, dog, Kendrick is so diabolical. He knew that people like Eb wouldn't even make the playlist, so he did it for him. He saw it coming. He saw it coming. Niggas don't make playlists no more. I'm gonna do it for you.
I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Wait, hold on. Even more, it was a shot at Drake because Drake dropped playlists and he dropped the playlist after the show. That's how the nerds be getting into that bag. That's how crazy Kendrick is, dog. You didn't even see.
You got to think, and that's the wild part. If we ever do a Kendrick one-off, we're gonna sound like that.
Now bro.
We're gonna end up talking like that. We're gonna end up talking like that.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. That man got on Twitter. He said, "Oh, they playing this shit backwards." Hey, Top.
On me.
Let's do that. And Top was like, "All right."
That was
the
real get Top on the phone. He said, "Bro, we got him.
Get Top on the phone.
Get him."
Nah, it's really called Nomad. He just dropped the O because it's damn backwards. That shit that niggas be doing.
And that's why
because he be isolated in his own world as the number one.
That's why I think artists hold certain resentment towards him though. Like
because he can get off
because
with all of
everybody is not allowed to do that. When you have built up a certain thing with your fans and a certain like rapport and a certain credibility, you're able to do shit like that and make niggas think shit is happening when it's not. It's just that's an attribute of like being mystical, damn near. Like
but and that does tie into everybody viewing both him and Old Boy the same way because they did get away with a lot of shit. It was just their own version of getting away with it. Yeah, for sure. For sure, man. But nah, man, if y'all go check out the Luther video, still go support it. It's still a dope song, man. You know, let us know what you think of the video. I'm gonna ask y'all to turn y'all's attention just for a little bit. We know we all deal with it. It be all over the social medias. It's been in the news, but we gonna have to talk about these Trump activities. And I'm gonna sign it over to my studious brother, Mr. Ev, and have him break down what's going over there, man.
The good brother,
from the Bay.
You know what I'm
saying? Man, all right. So, everybody know since the orange man took in office, things been getting real shaky. I'm gonna try to explain it as best as I can. I'm not gonna try to keep us all day because the last 2 weeks has been nuts. But as you all know, Trump has been talking for a while, saying he was going to enact tariffs on the country, on other countries, on the goods that are imported, because he wants to bring back jobs in manufacturing and make everything American made again. The problem with that is that they're really not capable of doing that right now because we get all of our goods from other countries and everything. And what he's trying to do is tariff everyone, which is tax all of goods and services to make them pay more so they can either make trade deals to bring those companies to America or just pay the extra funds. The problem with that is that the American consumers are the sacrificial lambs, where to circumvent the tariffs, you increase the pricing. And increasing said pricing will now drastically increase goods, everything, because especially from China, because a lot of our goods and services are imported from China. So, and that is the biggest war that is going on, and I'm going to call it a trade war because it's kind of a petty situation going on of an attack towards China specifically. I'm not going to say if it's wrong or right because I am not that political and that studious in the numbers to know that beneficial problematic thing with China specifically. But what's been going on the last 2 weeks specifically is that those tariffs have now started to come into effect. How it went was originally it was going to be 10% on every single country, with you had about 50 to 60 that got ranges between the 20 to 40 range, but then you had China who got an exponential of 54%. And that was because, again, as we're saying, China is the biggest culprit, if you want to say, in America or in Trump's eyes of how I want to say taking advantage of their use of importing and exporting goods to America. And in all of that action that he's been doing is that he's been saying from the beginning, hey, when we enact these tariffs. We aren't going to stop. We're not going to change our minds. We're not going to change our minds. We're going to stay hell bent on enacting these tariffs. And what has now happened in the last 2 weeks has been a lot of fear mongering by Donald Trump himself of and stock market manipulation in that by him
That part.
on his what's the platform? I want to say it's the Truth Social platform is the name of it that he uses now instead of X, where he out and just puts out his posts at his will. And on April 2nd, which he called Liberation Day, is when it went into effect all the tariffs that he had of the 10% on every country and the 20 to 40 on certain countries and the 54 on China. Well, in doing that, you had a lot of those countries put in reciprocal tariffs because they say no, sir, we no play that. We're going to charge you too. So there's been a lot of games going back and forth of Donald Trump, which is very weird. There's been no congressional talks, nothing. He's just been, hey, these are the new tariffs. These are what we're doing. And this has been enacted at that point in time, apparently. And so with him doing that the last few days, he had the stock market lose hundreds and thousands of points. Hundreds of points. I'm sorry, don't quote me on that there, but hundreds of points, which is putting everyone in fear of selling. Of you got Americans being faced with 401ks crashing. You've had this happen over multiple days, and as we got to April 9th, where he enacted those tariffs, he ended up putting a pause in hours later. Well, a day later. I'm sorry. He ended up putting a pause in a day later and
Bitch.
dropped everything down to 10% for 90 days instead, except for China. And he increased China's rate, which is he has been doing a part of these petty wars of the reciprocal tariffs. He's increased China now to 150% now of their goods, while every country is 10% for the next 90 days. And he enacted that in my mind, and that's why I'm saying that myself here. I'm saying that here on the Keep It Clean podcast. I think that is a part of stock market manipulation, of the fear mongering that he saw of Congress, of Democrats, of the American citizens, everyone being scared and seeing the market just plummet. He put it in a pause at the drop of a dime because he knew it would turn the lights back on. Everyone would be happy. And in that,
Yeah.
you've now got it where the stock market now is hinging on any word that he says directly. You've seen it for the last 3 days where you've seen it go completely red when he says, hey, we're okay. And this is where the stock manipulation comes, because when it goes red, that's the time when financial advisors and stock professionals would say, buy the dip. So when it's red, you buy it low so you can sell when it's high. And
Yeah.
so he put purpose while everything was red, he was on his platform saying, buy now, which that's also like insider trading in a way as well.
Yeah.
By telling everyone to buy the dip because it's coming, because it's hinging on your words.
A
Uh,
politician shouldn't be doing that. A politician
exactly,
shouldn't be swaying the
especially
stock market like that.
not the president of the United States. So you've seen that going on the last few days. And again, as we've gotten, and I will say, we even got an update of hours ago with the tariffs. He's now made exclusions because the tech market has been one of the biggest bases that's affected by tariffs. You've seen Apple fly in hundreds of thousands, millions of phones on planes to avoid the tariffs from China. And being shipped to production to India. This morning, he actually put in exclusions on tariffs. He's excluded tariffs on all tech items, all technical products, so all smartphones, all smartwatches, all chips. So Nvidia is no longer affected by tariffs.
Yeah.
He's now, and again, that's a stock market changer, because all of your tech companies now will get reinvested into, because they're no longer affected by tariffs.
Bro,
He a
having
bitch.
having the flex, not even the flex, but having that moment of making a country go cold turkey from technology, more so internet and the functions of their phones and the addiction that we have, is a wicked play, man. That's a
Yeah.
wicked play. Knowing China being able to flex it on that side, like, so who's gonna make it? And we got the technology for it. And then on this side, people scratching their neck talking about I need my phone or I need the new thing, man.
Yeah.
One of my because I'll say for me, one of my biggest takeaways in watching this play out is having that life lesson, especially with our generation. We have learned to have but not to hold.
Mm-hmm.
And meaning like the maintenance of things. This, in the way the tariffs are functioning, in the way that the money is being played with, learn as best as you can on how to fix, repair, whatever it is. But especially these actual household items, because if go back out there and try to buy a new one, buy whatever, all of it's going to be affected. We're seeing it from groceries all the way to the manufacturers. It's been trickling since COVID. Learn, just like, it's half of the shit's on YouTube. Go on YouTube, search how to fix, and then just at least, like, try to learn something, be hands-on. But that's been my takeaway from a lot of it, man. Work on it and build a skill, build a little bit more experience so you can maintain what you have.
Mm-hmm. And I do want to say before we open the floor is that I didn't even really get to touch on how it really affects all of us, when the most important part, our pockets. I didn't even really get to touch on that. I kept it really on the bigger overarching factor where, again, with these tariffs in place, even with 10%, that's an increase on our livelihoods, prices on everything we interact with. Now, he just did this a few hours ago, reported by Bloomberg, with tech things, but that was going to be one of electronics and technical items. That was going to be one of the biggest factors. Back again, Nintendo has their new Switch 2 coming out supposedly in June. They stopped their pre-orders and their announcements because they didn't know how the tariffs would affect them. They didn't know how the tariffs would actually affect the price for American consumers. Now, with the news today, it most likely will not be affected, but that's a part of how it affects our economy, where the rollout of a device that everybody wanted to buy, you don't even know what that price would be to even purchase it, which now that's honestly would delay pre-orders, delay the release of the device in America potentially, if it would still happen. So that's, please be on the lookout for yourself financially, because things potentially will be increasing. So do with that as you will. Honestly, that's all I can say.
And this why we love Rose, because there's certain times he get in that bag, and now we need one of his statements. You messing with them people, you need to you messing with them people over there, bro. You need to stop. Man, everyone, you know what I'm saying? You messing with them folks. Every one of our phones, everything we do is coming out of that direct source. What you doing? I would understand it more if you started setting this up ahead of the tariffs. If you wanted to bring the jobs back here and you want to actually build appropriately and get people ready, you needed to start. We know that's not what that's what I'm saying. So like I'm trying to add more context to what Ev just broke down for us, man. It's in a way, if he really meant that, he would have had an action in place. And this is something that you would have seen where they would talk about so and so is building here, or this American company is here. They're going to make XYZ. You would have been, this would have been the time you would have been able to utilize your boy up there with the car market. It's like, hey, we got an in-house car market. I'm going to revamp Ford. I'm going to revamp Chevrolet. So we got electronic all the way to your standard type vehicles, bringing all that's the play appropriately if done, but that's not what he's looking out for. And that's why we need to work on maintaining certain things. That is not his play. He's not speaking to us. Anybody, most of the people that's going to listen to this message, he's not speaking to any of us, and us has a wide blanket that's covering right now. So it's a different game that's being played. You messing with them folks.
There are no jobs coming back to America.
No. And see, that's why I would say we'll be here all day.
Hold on, F. There are no jobs coming back to America. Making it expensive for anybody to do business with America under the guise of it's gonna bring back employment to America. A, where are the factories? Who's gonna build them? Who's gonna work in them? And what do we make? We don't make anything.
Like rehab. That sounds like that rehab we was talking about. We're going
for all y'all. Shut up, nigga. For all of y'all,
I was being dead ass.
Shut up, nigga. For all of y'all that's saying, yo, we finna get the employment back, we finna bring back manufacturing, you're gonna be in the factory. The same factory that y'all see them folks in China working in that y'all say is so we especially if we keep this shit up because
Dog, that
you are gonna be making your own iPhone. All right,
man, because
lock
that
in,
AI
bro.
video, I
Midterms is
don't know.
coming. Y'all better lock in.
I don't know if y'all saw that AI video, but that's what it looks like. That one where the China put out an AI video of Americans making Nikes, and it had this dude, like a Peter Griffin built as trying to sew
That's
together a
that's
Nike
what it's
dog.
about to be.
Yeah, and you're not going to be getting paid
Man,
$20 an hour.
man,
Come on,
No,
man.
and
Come on, man.
that's why I say we'll be here all day, really going into details of what's going on and how it really impacts. Because
But just peep,
it's just not.
peep what's going on. Buddy woke up,
Mm-mm,
told y'all now's a good time to buy, opened up the market, manipulated it, and then at the end of the day, got on camera in the White House and said, "Yeah, my man's just made $100 million today. My other man's just made $2 million today." I would say that's a pretty good day. Y'all
Bro,
tell, look, hey, look. He woke up, said, buy this right now. He controls the market, put in a play, let it go green, and then shut it down again.
mhm. Oh,
Y'all
and
tell
one
me.
thing,
Y'all
and
tell me.
one thing I want to say about that too. A lot of people in the media have been saying it like, "Oh, it's lost 20% and it's rebounded 20%." That's not a win. Let me tell y'all how math works. 10% of 100 is 90. Adding 10% of 90 back means it's 99. 99 is less than 100. So if we lose 30% and then gain 30%, we
We
still
not at the
lost.
same, yeah, we not at the same spot.
So don't listen to the media when they tell you those numbers. It's not true and it's not right. If
Facts.
you had to
hey,
if you had to be told that.
Facts. Facts.
Rose, what's your thoughts? You have any thoughts on it? That's your thoughts. I appreciate it, man. Nobody, there's nothing to say. There's nothing to say to it, man.
All
You
right.
just watching. You just watching, man. No, but in all seriousness, I also want to add this reminder to the fact, hey, for all y'all that are still trying to say "got you," "told you so," if you didn't vote for him and you going after the people that do, again, we are now 4 months away from it. We've seen what he's been doing in house. That conversation needs to be deaded too. The "I got you, I told you so" getting in that petty bag, that don't benefit us moving forward because everybody is all in the situation. Whether you for him or you not, there's still certain things that are happening where it's clearly affecting everybody. And we know the mass amount of people, even with those that did support him during the elections and are coming back and saying, like, they made a mistake, or they're still doubling down. Just understand we all in that same boat. You in the boat with them. If you
Mhm.
feel away, you in the boat with them. You're gonna have to figure a way out to cross the bridge and possibly meet somehow in order to be successful, man. So get off the high horse, man. Get off the high horse, All right. So I hope y'all understand. Y'all listen to Ev. You see, Ev did the full breakdown, and of course, man, get back out there and read. Over there, Nick had the follow up. He gave you a different perspective, and even for me, saying, man, y'all got to tap in with people. Or hell, man, Rose said he had nothing to say. He had nothing to say. He don't even want to give it the time. Am I
Hey
right?
man, look, this conversation is super nuanced. Number one, fuck this nigga. Number one, we'll get that out the
Get
way.
him.
Keep it clean.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Number two, a lot of this boils down to political posturing, not necessarily what he's doing, but how he's doing it. So when we talk about stock market manipulation, I'm not even tripping so hard about that because that goes on with a lot of political people.
Mm-hmm.
Insider trading, that happens very often. So especially with the Fed and all that shit, like that happens very, very often. So I'm not really mad at that. His play really was to get his homeboy some bread. Like that was the play. Like, let me look out for the homies. Y'all don't put me in here. You know what I'm saying? Let me break bread with the community. That's his folks. I get it. The problem is a lot of this shit has failed and happened because people are fucking misinformed, number one, easily manipulated, and just don't know what the fuck going on. That's how he got into office anyway. His whole campaign was ran off of tariffs, and niggas don't know what tariffs are.
Exactly. And
Niggas couldn't even tell you how tariffs work, but you telling me, yeah, bro, he said he gonna interact with tariffs. Nigga, do you know you pay for the tariff, nigga?
No, they
and
don't.
it,
They
and
don't
this,
know.
but
They
this
don't
is the
know.
thing, and this is where it gets frustrating though, because the same way we saw everybody prior to the election talking about no, the tariffs are going to work, the tariffs are going to work, the tariffs are going to work. We saw after the election, Google searches go up of how do tariffs work, who pays for tariffs.
That's my
The
point.
information is already there. It's already there. It's in your hand,
Well,
literally.
Mm-hmm.
they have the same
And it was about
information
to
that you
not be if
believe.
he would have kept doing this bullshit.
But
But go
that's the
on.
point. Yeah,
It was
exactly.
about to
Exactly.
not be in your hand, bro.
The same information that you believe that people have, this has actually made us dumber. Like we
That
have
too.
gotten, the
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
more
That's fair.
technology comes, the dumber we fucking get. So whatever niggas think, they understand that though. So that's why they fill your mind with a whole bunch of shit that don't matter. Because
Mhm.
it's like, all right, well, we can enact all of these things, and you niggas don't even, y'all not even gonna be able to fight back because y'all
Bro,
don't even know what to
but
look at to fight back.
Exactly.
we need
Yeah.
to really keep it. I'm gonna keep it clean. It sounds crazy. Musk is the president. Trump is VP. Because when
We
you're
know.
watching a
We
lot of
know
the
that.
shit,
Yeah.
No,
We know
but
that.
okay, so if we're all on board that Elon Musk really is the president.
Yeah.
Elon Musk has driven majority of the shit, and if you understand how, if once you really sit down and understand how this tariff stuff has played out, and understand a lot of the motion that he's been doing even before the tariffs or during the tariffs would almost benefit, not almost, it completely benefits that
You,
particular
yeah. You don't even
business
have to,
owner. This
bro.
this this looks like he's doing a
he
marketing meeting in open,
it's
Listen,
not
while
like
even
he's
right in
sitting
front
up,
of us. You know what
while
I'm saying?
Elon Musk is sitting up talking about how we need to cut Social Security and cut Medicaid and cut Medicare, he's not stopped taking funding from the government for his own projects.
but all of those things can be true, which they are. I mean, if you want to speak specifically about Social Security, you can
Mhm.
look at the stuff that they put out. And I mean, not even what they just put out. You can go look at this shit on the government website. Bro, they're giving money to dead people.
No, they're not.
Like, bro, they are.
No, they're not. They're actually not.
They
The
are
way
though.
the system is set up is it puts a certain number in the field. Nobody that's over that age is getting any money. That's been debunked mad times. Get off of Joe Rogan, brother. That shit been
That's
debunked.
not even just on Joe Rogan, by the way.
I'm just saying that shit been
That's not
debunked.
even just on Joe Rogan.
That
But
shit been debunked.
when outside, let's exclude that part. A lot of this is about ushering the United States of America into a new age. If you want to speak specifically about jobs, yeah, them jobs ain't coming. There's been articles about eventually they don't want you to own nothing. And you're gonna own nothing and you're gonna like it. That's just what it is. People are not, especially with the tariff thing, nigga, people not gonna be able to afford cars, stock market already fucked up, housing already fucked up, everything gonna be fucking rent. Like people, especially people our age, I can't even imagine our kids and shit like that. Like, good luck to you, bro. Like, I can't even tell you to go to college because what's that gonna do for you? You better get out here and get some money. You better hit the block. Like, you better get you a bag, bro.
Hit the block legally, please.
I mean, do what
because
you
but
do, bro.
because that's the tough reality of it. We about to go outside and see the block be the most multiracial we've ever seen it in our lives, bro. Everybody on the block.
Oh
It's a block
shit.
party by the time in this near future, bro. It's gonna look
You better get
something
out there and
extra wicked.
sell you some Ozempic, bro. Like, go do something.
You know what I'm saying? The block about to look extra wicked, man. You
because it's
never seen people unify like that.
and this has been going on. This is not something that's new. This has been a plan that has been enacted from years and years prior. Like niggas will say they've been saying for 10 plus years, oh, if we up the minimum wage, everything gonna get more expensive. You niggas ain't up the minimum wage and everything more expensive.
Bingo.
And that
So
comes with
it's
knowledge.
Bingo.
That
Bingo.
that 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 comes with the
this is just
knowledge, and
shit
I
we will tell you niggas shit, and until everybody gets on one accord and get their mind off of the division and what makes us all so separate, we
Mhm.
all still gotta live in this motherfucker.
Mhm.
Like
yep,
And,
Mm-hmm.
and what it
yep.
really come down to build to add on to that, the idea, like I see a lot of the idea today of, I gotta protect me and mine. I'm not finna give up none of mine to protect somebody else or to help somebody else that might not be doing the best to protect themselves. I'ma just let you know right now. If I have the choice between having more or less resources in a community with idiots, give me more resources, please. Please. Please.
If that's the education thing, and more specifically, bro, with the way that things are turning out, please come together with yourselves and focus on the black education piece, because they already trying to delete the history, but now they're clearly trying to delete the information, not just from us, but from everybody, but still specifically for the black community, man. Get the education piece. And that doesn't always have to necessarily be school. That could just be you tapping in with other people and, getting that wisdom and getting that knowledge elsewhere. And that makes me pose a question when it comes to that education. Why aren't the boys, what happened to the focus on education specifically for the boys? We can expand to the girls as well and black children, and where that separation has been, the struggle with getting black boys going to school these days, right? Like, what happened? Because we can see if we prep them now for the future, they might be able to handle certain situations like this. But because it's been devolving, we started to have separation. Why are we here?
The black household majority of the time doesn't have two people in the household, and the data shows that single parent children that come from single parent households tend to not go to school as much or as long as children from two parent households. So I would just say the fact that we suffer from that the most at the moment would be a big factor in why it's not happening, you know.
Yeah, and I piggyback on that. I feel the same way too. Because as he said, with two parent households, whether and not even going into specifics of experiences in the household, but two parent households, the pushing and the focus on education in said household is the big thing. I think when you have more single parent households, it's more pressure on the parents to provide than nurture, in my opinion, because it's only one source of income. And so sacrifices are made or compromises are made. Let me put it that way. Compromises are made. And unfortunately, the biggest thing that's compromised is time. And parents, when you lack that time with children, you now have children raising themselves. But when you have parents who are raising the children, most times there's the focus on education first. There's the push on education when parents have more times with their children. When you can push education, that and you keep pushing education, it leads to better success out of your children. So when you have more time, and in my opinion, when you have two parent households, that creates that time where a child can get um, more dedicated time instead of by themselves, letting technology raise them or something like that. And that's where, like you said, like how Rose was mentioning earlier, how phones have made us dumber. That's a big problem with our children too, starting out where children are on their phones, and that's kind of where the focus is going away from instead of the educational piece. Where if the education is being pushed at home, when I get to school, I'm just chilling until I can get home. That's
Mhm.
how children kind of turn it into. So, and I don't want to just go into a big super. That's before I dive into a super archer thing. That's just me picking back off of just 2-parent household versus single parent household in that regard. But that was my.
Okay, I'm tracking.
What you
I'm
think?
tracking it. I appreciate what y'all said about the 2-parent household. I really do. I understand the numbers. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on the men, especially since we're talking about black boys, and it can expand into black children in general, but it's a larger problem with black boys. So I'm gonna focus on the men. I think it's a 3-generational tie-in. There's 3 generations that are active in this problem. There's the old school, and when I mean old school, I'm talking about like just the older generation. That could be any time frame. There's the new adults, and then there's the kids. So with the old school portion of it, I think oftentimes we've seen it to where those men were in 2-parent households, but I think there's a lot of accountability that has been missed upon them. Because even if you were in that household, you still might have been an absentee father despite your physicality there. So what you were pushing in the narratives that you had would have been built from what was previous to you. Oftentimes we see the mom being the one more so pushing education than the father. The father's lessons aren't always that. So now when you're doing that potentially in your household, I can only imagine what you're not doing for those that are outside. And why I say it's a 3-generational thing, because we know our elders saw that there was that single mom. We know that they saw those kids that may not have had an appropriate role male figure in their life to try to motivate them towards that. And oftentimes we saw those same men that saw that and just deemed that kid unworthy because they weren't up to their standards. They might have had a little bit of trouble, or they might have been going down the path that they didn't necessarily want their kids around. But that was your opportunity to reach out and tap shoulders. If you couldn't, somebody else could have. You could have touched bases and made sure, even if you didn't directly speak to that kid, you didn't feel like that was their kid or your kid to do that with, you could have talked to their moms and asked them what it is that they can help with, so you can bring them a part of that community. And then maybe their kids start to see the same vision that your kid sees, or maybe you have an understanding that they weren't in the same situation that you were in. And I believe heavily that falls back on the older generation, and they lack that self accountability to notice where they missed out. And unfortunately, depending on the way that you treated that other boy, whether it be in house or out of house, they don't want to talk to you no more, because now they're in our generation, the new adults, the ones that were figuring it out in a different way. So you did have some of the ones that reach for that education, but they may not have always been taught how to share that love for it, because it was probably drilled into them in a way of get punished or do this. And that doesn't make it digestible for a child. So this current generation, we now have those boys, and they're not trying to talk to them. Hell, there's a lot of times that we have us that grew up with fathers that may not want to talk to their father, right? So we don't know how to chop it up with those homies that are our peers to try to lean them that direction. We could show them certain things, but because there's already been such a disconnect, and there's been a disconnect since they were a child, they're 10, 15 years in, not only lacking the emotional intelligence, but now the actual educational intelligent piece of it too. And that's a tough gap to bridge. And the challenge I would put here amongst us is trying to get that conversation at least started. Trying to actually not try to show up niggas, because I know there's some of us that do that, but I'm just talking about the general masses. If you have an opportunity to start touching bases and building that community, it translates into that 3rd generation of the ones that are still in school or still of that age to be in, and being able to tap in with them. Because now if we're touching bases here and we say we learn from the older generation, now we start talking about it, we start meeting up with where our kids are going, and we start having that conversation. And then now it's that, oh man, did you see Ez little so and so? Man, yeah man, he got a football game next week, we all pulling up, we doing the barbecue. Or did you see Nick's son, you see little man's bro, he won the spelling bee. He won the spelling bee. And then trying to now get those kids that may not have had that touch, because we still have we still have the single mother household, or we still have that single parent household. I want to include the men in that as well, because sometimes it's difficult to push education when you're pushing yourselves to the extreme of trying to make sure it all works out in the household. Still bringing those single parents in over here, and then now we have that community. It's a 3 generational thing for me, and it starts with the accountability. I think that the old school is missing, and then the way that they taught us to lack that accountability and just go ahead and judge other brothers that might be in that same boat that we speak of not seeing the play. And instead of waiting to conversations like this when we break out the terror talk and we have to sound like we getting super nerdy, it's like, nah, we all see the play, so let's play the game together.
Yeah.
Not always being an isolated person, but that's where I'm at. Like, tap back in with the kids, and we can still change it. Please understand that we could still change it, because it starts with conversation, and that's free.
Is it the thing? And I'm gonna let you go too, Rose, because I know you still ain't gave your first piece yet. But I just want to build on that too. Like, if we can all have the understanding that there's a war on black boys, a war on black girls, a war on black people, right? Now, how do you, with that in your mind, turn around and say fuck them kids? It doesn't make sense. The math don't math. So
It's
like,
trauma.
I understand it, but I'm not here to excuse it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not here. The point comes to where it's like, okay, you see the effects of it on you. So now let's go try and be the change that we need to see in the world. Like, it comes to a point. It comes to a point where if we gonna try to do anything to change the scenario that we sit in, it's gonna have to start with us. Like, we can't keep looking outward to be like, oh well, y'all gotta fix it, y'all gotta fix it, y'all gotta fix it. Like, you see that these boys are not going to school as much. You see these boys is outside and losing their way. Why would you not go try to give them some guidance? Or are you afraid of them? You know what I'm saying? Like, it reinforces the same problem. If they already feel like the world don't give a fuck about them, and then every other person that look like them, that's older than them, that they come in contact with, is telling them get the fuck out of here, where are they gonna go? You dig what I'm saying? You gonna run them right into the exact same place that you don't want them to be in, but you won't take the extra step to prevent them from getting over there in the first place. It doesn't make any sense. But go ahead, Rose. I don't want to hold the mic up.
Oh no, you good. You know, I missed a piece of this. So
Yeah, so far, yeah, because you had jumped out and came back in. So far, basically, me and Ev basically talked about, as far as black boys not being in or falling out of school. We talked about it coming from a single parent household situation where the black community suffers the most from single parent households, and the data shows that children that grow up in 2-parent households are more often and more likely to remain in school and go to school, just period. So that's a piece of it. Ray added on to that by just saying, with that in mind, the way that the men in our community have either abandoned certain responsibilities or showed us how to not necessarily deal with those responsibilities in the correct way and pass those things down, we've now cycled that into where we are today of, y'all go figure that shit out. I had to figure it out. Y'all go figure it out. And until we can have those breakdowns of conversations of like, hey, there was times where I needed you to show up for me in a certain type of way that you didn't show up, and I don't need to argue. We don't need to argue about it. You might need to tell me where you coming from, here where I'm coming from, and we figure out how we can move forward so I can understand that and tell it to my son and tell it to the next child or tell it to his little homeboy that might be going through something with their pops. But rather than we get to that point, it's just a lot of, you'll understand when you get to my age, which never gets the conversation to be had. You dig what I'm saying? So that's what we done got to so far. But you go ahead, brother.
I mean, I think a lot of that has to do with lack of community, number one. And just everybody, I mean, I think we just got to a point now where everybody is just so individualized, and it's not about the collective anymore. I think there's so many things that have torn apart, especially if you want to talk about black people, just torn us apart as a people, that I don't think we're even concerned anymore about what's going on, especially with the kids. But then we'll turn around on the other side and complain about the results for us not caring. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? I think we were the first generation of that had a lot more emotional intelligence because that we had more information to go off of, and that's like each generation you get more information.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that. I mean, I think everything is balanced too. I mean, everything is balanced. There's a lot of stuff that they did in back then that some of these kids definitely need now. Like I won't go into all of it, but there's a lot of stuff that worked.
Is this a panda moment?
No, it ain't a panda moment.
Okay.
He just don't want to say it. But I know where you're going with. You
Yeah,
talking discipline. You talking discipline.
yeah. It's certain discipline. I think it's
Ray, your mic is muted, by the way.
there's a certain thing of healthy fear.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain thing. I mean, especially with two parent households. I mean, man, I think we just got to the point now too where like everybody's scared of these young niggas. Like,
He's saying bring back belt to ass. That's essentially what he's saying in the form of discipline. And please understand in that phrase, it's not talking about beating your kids. I hate that we even have to clear that out, but bring back belt to ass and understanding that there is a line in the sand and there is fundamentals that you need to understand as you go forth as a child. And it's my job as a parent to lay those fundamentals out for you. I'm setting you up for a potential for you to take this and then go build appropriately in your life. Whatever you want to edit then, after that, we know you have what the knowledge is to go do that with the sound mind. Bringing back belt to ass and reminding these children that they are children and they're to listen. It's not
yeah, I
saying
mean,
don't let them speak. It's not saying don't let them have their voice because that's what that third generation, I was talking that old generation was. Nah, that's a lot different. Let them have it and you have that conversation and you still have a line.
Because
but I think even within though back then, I don't. It wasn't even the fact that they didn't want you to talk. Like now that I'm getting older, I understand. It's you're talking about things you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and maybe I should teach it to you. Maybe I should help you understand. But until that moment happens, until whenever I have the discernment to say, okay, now this is the time to have that conversation, stay in a child's place.
I feel that.
That's second generation though.
I think
That's us.
it's like because I be going through this sometimes with little man. Sometimes like he might ask a certain question like, oh, why we can't do this or why we can't do that, and you know to us, I think at times we looking at what they saying, replaying back what we would have said, replaying back what the reply to that would have been from our big dogs, and then running back through and getting to what we say. And there's moments like those where he might say something, and he's 6, just for the record. So he might say something, and in my mind, it might come across as like ungrateful or like, where you just don't know how the world work type of thing. And then you got to rework it back and be like, you 6.
I mean, two things can be true though. And it's like back then too, it's like that certain discipline is instilled because when you go outside, folks not playing with you. So
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
asking me why, you go outside and a police officer is trying to give you and trying to
Right.
tell you what to do, and you asking why, and that could be the difference between you making it back
I,
home
but
or
I
you
also
being
think
on the
that's
fucking news.
I think that's the lapse of that generation oftentimes because you were trying to teach a message, but your delivery was so ass that it wasn't understood. So for
Yeah.
our side, after we have learned that and what we're seeing, it's not always just the asking of the why. It's giving them that opportunity to learn because if they're asking us, which may not have been allowed back then, depending on how your pops was,
Mm-hmm. It's a
not,
moment.
it's
It's
because
an
I get what you
opportunity.
say. If it's a live moment right here, for sure. But if I did my due diligence on the front end and we prep for the live moments, you know how to act appropriately then. So me explaining to the why shouldn't be taking it as a question because what I do think applies to the old generation and this generation with a lot of at least fathers, men for us in our community were raised to be an adult since we were a child. So we often forget childhood, quote unquote. It's not oftentimes we look at that
Mm-hmm.
as childhood until we get into a conversation like this when we kind of tap in and go, oh, remember when we used to do this back in high school? That's the extent of it. Not the way that we learned, not the way that we came up. And what I think us trying to acknowledge that is translating that mind of like, man, I was a kid. Because what Nico just said isn't a common thought. It's just he's supposed to do it this way. He's just supposed to know in their own version, even if it's not as aggressive as the old school one. Is you forgot a childhood thing, and I have to shout out my pops on that because he always said the words, man. You always act like I haven't raised you since you was a pup, and then you try to act like I wasn't a pup too. I did the game, knew the game by the time you got to the game. So here is the game for you to learn. That process of me understanding it, him lining it out like that is what I'm saying is needed more. Don't just jump to don't do it. Don't just jump to you're in trouble. Don't just jump to even when they do good things. Make sure they understand why they were successful.
Make it all make sense, the whole way around.
Because they might just think it. I just did this because of this, but why were you successful?
That's being aware, and that's also having the privilege to do that, though. Like, because you could be in environments where that's not even and unfortunately, especially with Black people, bro, it's a lot of shit is based off survival. So you're not even thinking about, oh, well, he's just a kid. Like, because we had to, as Black people, you have to grow up faster. That's just the reality of the situation.
And that's where, to your first point of saying of getting back to community, back to time. It's like in a lot of our situations when we dealing with these survival moments in these survival situations, like we all understand folks are strapped for time, strapped for bread, strapped for resources, right? If we can get back to that community, it can start affording you some of that time again. Like it might, like just for me, specifically for myself, I was homeschooled until like the second grade type shit by family. You feel me? So in that same time period, my mom is going back to school or whatever. So it's like, wow, instead of it being a situation where it's like she got to figure out where I'm finna be for the school while she's at school or taking me up there with her or whatever. Now it's, oh nah, I'm not even in school at this point, but hey, can y'all watch him until I get out and do whoop-de-whoop? And she'll make sure folks is fed, or they might even make sure I'm fed. You dig what I'm saying? Like either which way it go. If she got it, cool. If she don't got it, cool. He a kid. We gonna make sure he eat regardless type shit. But like just that peace of mind of like, okay, cool. I don't have to scramble so much. We've gotten so far away from that shit to where it's like, bro, it used to be cribs on the block where all the kids go over there after school. That's where they sit until they mama come through to come get them. And that lady in that house that might be, living off SSI or living off food or whatever it is, the folks that kids is in that house, they hitting her off with bread to make sure everybody in the crib be and make sure she's straight. Like we got to really get back to that because we see right now the individuality, the individualism, it's not working.
And I want to add to what you just said and kind of give an example because I often think in conversations like these, people tend to use buzzwords and I know we're better than that. So, and it's not taking away what you're saying when we say community. It's more so let's start setting out steps to getting to that result. And in my mind, I think the perfect position to be in that example of community when we all used to know where the kids were at because all the bikes were in the front yard. We knew exactly where they're at. And what I take from that is similar to what Nick was saying, is like, my moms will make sure you fed or vice versa. It's also one of those pieces where you understand the child care act of it. So to what you're saying, Rose, we grew up on survival. We know that. We also grow up on those moments where we're trying to put everything together. So we may not have the physical time to dedicate. But if the four of us are linked in, right? While you going out to survive, you know that they're with us. So it's not what I can take off your plate is the fear of what they're doing by themselves because they're with one of us three.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know that they're over here. So now the security and safety portion of your child, you don't have to worry about that survival for them. Now we could sit and have the lesson more frequently versus the crash course that I think we were often exposed to. Because you're right. I need you to know. But if you're consistently getting that, we know Rose and we know Rose's message, and it's going to be backed up between Nico, Ray, and Ev as it goes on. It's kind of like removing the lapse potentially of maybe Rose couldn't deliver that message, but he with his brothers over here, when the kids get together, call each other brothers, and we find that way because we also had that uncle. We might have that cousin that
it's
delivered what Dad was saying.
It's removing some of that burden off you and also opening up the opportunity for for learning and growth with the kid. Like if for example, right, if I'm kicking it with my uncles for the day or whatever, and we get to talking about whatever it is we talk about, and I get back to my pops and I'm like, yo, Uncle such and such said blah 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 blah. That may be and he may disagree, agree, whatever it is. It could be about something serious, it could be about something small, but now there's another way. He might not have been able I might not have been able to bring that conversation to him beforehand, type shit. And then I figure out a way to get to him, and then it's like, okay, bet, I just got this from my uncle, now I can bring this to my pops. Like, it's a lot of ways that having more interaction or having more just just more interaction and more people around, it opens up the possibilities for you more than it's all on me and I got to make sure everything is scrambling straight, because we know you got to do that and we want you to do that. We want you to help, and we don't even want you scrambling. You feel what I'm saying? So any type of way we can go ahead and be like, all right, bro, alleviate some of that pressure off you. You ain't got to worry about little man. He over here, he fed, he chilling, we watching whoop-de-whoop, we talking about anything he want to talk about, of course, with your blessing. You dig what I'm saying? And then we keep it pushing. Like, that's kind of the space I'm trying to get to. And I think I honestly think that has to start with us, with men, with the men.
Yeah. And that's why I say, oh, go ahead.
And I think one part, I don't want to drift this. Stop me if this does drift it. But I think a big part of what we're all saying about the community aspect and being on one accord is it takes a lot of self-awareness and to do that. Because the reason I say that is that the first step is, which is a part of a problem with us, is all of us are trying to race individual goals to be at the top. Like, everybody is playing the game of competition to be at the top, when we all need to actually step back, and you have to understand who you are and what you're doing. Your race is to be the best of what you are doing, not competing with somebody else. And in that, I think, and losing that, I think that's a big part of what we lost from back in the day, is a self identity and self purpose individually of what am I doing for the gain of everybody. Because, like we said, it used to be back in the day to somebody that was on SSI and everybody went down and make sure they ate. No one wants to be that person, when some people may know in their own right that's exactly who you are. That's exactly, and because we're all, a lot of people are on a mind of, they on this race of, nah, hustle culture. I gotta be this entrepreneur, I gotta be this, I gotta be that, because that's what's being thrown at us every which direction, social media and everything. So you so busy trying to, let me get this business going, let me get this business going, when if but while you trying to do all that, you're sitting in this one spot, which, and I ain't saying it's a negative or positive, but you're in this positive, you're in this position where if you turn that eyesight into the community aspect of, nigga, I got an excess of motherfucking Cheez-Its down here. I need to be sending these off to I need to be making sure little 5-year-old right here, they got snacks for daycare or something like that. It's the small things of bartering or something like that. And that's, I'm saying that on a very minuscule level of, like I said, Cheez-Its, but it's things where people are trying to race to Rat Race, the movie Rat Race that came out. That's exactly, everybody on a rat race to something where, if you just take the step back and think about where you are and racing just that lane, you now have the opening to do everything else.
And
And that ain't saying don't do it. It's just that I think
I wanna agree with you in a sense. The other part of that is the problem. I think it is a true Black American issue, because you see everybody else is able to have community. Everybody else is able to do these things. And I think just because of everything that we've been through, niggas ain't never had shit, suffering through trauma. But shit, some Hispanics will all jump in one car and niggas will use that one car. That's just what they do. White people ain't kicking their kids. White people not kicking their kids out the house.
We
You
got
know what I'm saying? Like,
we got an issue with, and we talk about this often, but it come in a lot of separate spurts. But we got an issue with trying to stunt on whatever level it is that we at, to show what we have, or to show how unaffected by what we going through we are. And that's where we run into those problems. I'm not finna share a car with 3 motherfuckers because I just get my own motherfucking car and I got a car now, nigga. Who, and it's that type of that type of thinking,
It's
and
it's that thing of like, since I had to do it, you got to do it.
you got to do it exactly, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to break. That's what I'm really like.
It's a mentality.
Me and my lady, we sit in here, we be talking like when little man be running around doing certain stuff, and we get to going back through like, man, when I was little, that wouldn't have flew, or that wouldn't have this, or that wouldn't have that, and we look at other parents sometimes be like, no, he can't do that because I couldn't do that, and it's like, well, what's the harm?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
What actually is he getting away with?
and
Other than the fact that he can do something you couldn't, and it's like
and,
you get those battles
the
too of like the
competition.
ego
no,
battles with parents
bro,
type shit.
bro.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
I'm glad you
competition
said that
comparison.
word, Ed, because I'm gonna segue right off of what Nick said, and I've been thinking about this. I think the lack of competition directly affects the boys because we need that. I'll even say it's not just the sports. Part of me getting into education was having a group of homies to compete with on who was trying to get the better
Yeah.
grade.
Yeah.
And that's happening. But the way that competition has been utilized in a negative aspect or watered down, all the way to the participation trophy type shit, using competition and understanding the second part really quick, because what you were saying and what Rose was saying, competition amongst the group and learning self competition at the same time. So now I can go be the best individual and try to get the most money here, yes, while also understanding ain't nothing wrong, man. The homies all ride together in a group share. We saving money and building that because we know our competitions are separate, but we're also being smart because we built the brotherhood amongst us through that. All of our best homies we know had to see us on some type of field. And that's how we solidify like we could really rock out with you. That was part of it. You got to see us on some basketball court, football field, running the ones on
Whether
the
it's
on the
Shonen,
stick. You know what I'm
roasting.
saying? Yeah, hey, get on the sticks. It's Madden, it's NBA Live, 2K, whatever. Like you had to see me in some type of way for me to even respect you and be in your community and vice versa.
But see,
I
Ray,
think we
even
need to bring
looking
back
at it,
competition for boys.
even looking at it though, like it's something as small as the car situation is like a nigga would rather spend $800 on having their own shit rather than spending 200 and still get to where
Cool.
they need to go just to look like you got some shit.
Cool.
All
Let them
because of their
niggas.
feelings.
Real quick,
Okay, cool. I acknowledge that. Let them niggas be them niggas, but if we're aware of it and we know it needs to change, them niggas are gonna have to get phased out. I'm not looking at
Yeah,
an
no,
all around
I'm
switch that
saying
can be done.
it's a collective thing amongst black
True, but
people.
how do
I want
you
to
start the collective without putting that effort in? That's all I'm putting out. Let them niggas be them niggas, but you got to start
I want to
tapping
circle
in.
back real quick to the competition piece. Twofold. I think we need to encourage competition in a different way that we understand it first, which is the
Yes.
educational. I think we understand competition only in the form of sports, and that's the only way that we get to give a fuck about like anything, school, anything like that. It's like, oh, just go be a part of these competitions. That's one. Two, in the competition piece, that test in the competition of like whether that be with your homies and these type of things, I'm gonna liken that back to the household and say that's where the missing father is showing up the most, because we know as boys you have to test. You got to test the waters, you got to test the boundaries, you got to test it every single time. And I know, just speaking personally, it was certain times I got the testing shit. My pops wasn't around. There's certain times I got the testing shit, and the answer from my mom was, he's just a boy. That's just what he do. They just gonna give you a hard time. Where certain times where my pops is like, I get around him later type shit, I might buck up in a certain type of way and be like, hey, bro, what you and you gotta hold court, and then and you gotta have that moment of like, all right, do I jump the gate or do I stand back on the yard? And it's like that the way we've lost that. And I want to say this real quick, and I'll let y'all go ahead. Because I was watching this and it was on YouTube. I don't want to mess up his name. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna put his name in the. I'm gonna link the video down here in the description. But he was speaking about how with black boys specifically, to Rose's point, with black people, black boys specifically, when you don't have the opposite gender, that balance, you get to learning, especially when it comes just to your mom, when you get to figuring out how she kind of work and what tick, what don't, what you can get away with, what you can't, you get to dealing with everybody in that same sense. So you learn how to manipulate your mom to get through the process of however you gonna work. You get to the school, you doing that same play with your teachers, you doing that same play with everybody that you get outside. But the issue is we realize, well, way too late, is the shit that your mom let you get away with. The shit that my mom told me was that boys just do that type of shit. Is the shit that the police shoot you for. Is the shit that the school will send you home for. The shit that you get suspended for. So it's like we have to bring back that balance and bring back that understanding of like, and to just stop coddling these boys too. Like, yo,
Yeah.
this is what it is. This is how it's going to be. Not necessarily to mean you need to grow up at 14 and be a grown ass man. You can still go through these processes as naturally as we going to see it. But there's a responsibility you need to have. Cleaning in the house, make sure all your homework is done, picking up, going outside and doing these lawns, and we tacking it, and we making sure you do this every single time. And this is a part of you being who you are, making sure you handle what you got to handle. It's too many times your sister know how to clean everything in the house. You sit on the game all day. We gotta balance that shit out.
And I'm gonna say, I think this is the one line I think that encapsulates it the most. We need to stop being our kids' friends. I think that's one of the biggest issues is that
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
that's how.
we've lost, and I think,
That's
but what I mean is that from how I've seen it is that when you become a parent, you are now you're teaching. Every moment is a teaching moment, and that's what I mean when you're saying like as men, like it's that test. Yeah, because guess what? I've been teaching you this whole time. You think you're ready to pass
You
this
think you
test now?
fucking me? Think you can
You
fuck with
think
me
you
now?
can pass the test? That's the thing. And like you said, with boys and moms, and you've been manipulating the test. You've been cheating the test the entire time because you found out
and
how to do
even
it.
being more than a teacher, Ev, is you actually have a responsibility for another human to do
Yes,
what they're supposed to
I,
do
and you're
Mhm.
supposed to be moving
I'm
in
gonna
the
go.
oxygen. I mean,
and
not oxygen.
integrate into society a certain way.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Exactly.
go the
yeah.
opposite,
And
Ed. I'm gonna go the opposite. Not opposite. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go on the same coin, but opposite side. I think that coddling is more on the women's side. If I'm sticking to what I'm on and identifying the men, I think we do the opposite. We don't know how to laugh with these kids. We too busy trying to pass down it's supposed to be this way, and we end up being more tough and
It's
tough in the way of like not saying coddle them, but it's there is no sensitivity
we
for the
don't
most
give
part is
boys
what I'm
the
saying.
Coddle.
ability to be
And so
sensitive to
so I'm more so looking, I was like, you could discipline them, but learn this is my challenge to black fathers, especially for our generation. Learn how to laugh with them from an early age. It doesn't have to wait until you feel like they're smart enough or they're intelligent enough. Learn how to laugh and tap back in with your inner child at the same time,
it's a
so
fine
that
line,
way
man.
y'all can have a space. You're of course there's a fine line. I'm not for coddling. Let me be clear. I'm
It's
not
a
for this
fine line.
idea of not. There's a line of discipline, but there's also an ability to be able to laugh and absorb the situation
it's
and be
discipline and
free with your
relation.
kids.
It's
I
discipline
think
and
Boom.
relation.
I
I
You
think
can
the
still
thing
respect me and laugh with me.
I
the
Well,
laughing is
because
trying
a
to change
child needs to
their
know about a
relationship.
I do
hierarchy,
want
and
to
that's
say
the
though. I do
problem.
want to say
Yes, but
I
you can
do
still
think
They
okay.
don't
I'll give you.
they don't understand the hierarchy. That's what happens
but
today. It's
that
That's
like
and
on
Because
they
being
that's
think
you.
everything
friends,
is even,
That's
and
on
it's not.
but
that's
this
on
this what
you.
I'm saying. This one, yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? So like with Lil Man, it's any type of moment where he may overstep. That's my moment to show him the boundary. You dig what I'm saying? So like we might be talking, kicking it, whatever, and he might, yo, what the, hey.
And so
We
what
don't,
I'm saying is
But
you
that
you
see,
goes to
don't
the
have to
thing you were
wait.
talking about, though, when you were talking about it's not about not teaching a child information of when you're asking why. It's about creating a hierarchy at a certain point of if I said this, this is
I
what
f-
it is.
I understand that.
that's
I
and I
understand
And
think
that.
that's
that's
why I'm
where
saying
I
it's a
think that's
fine line. And only you can discern that as a
Yeah,
father.
that's
Only
true.
you can
and
do
that's
that.
also where I'm saying like my part on it and pushing that communication piece is
You
I
can
would like for
you
us
can
to
figure
stop.
out what that line like
Yeah.
you should okay. in a sense, I get what you're saying, right? Because there has to be a line. At a certain point, it's like at a certain point, asking why is the questioning of authority, and at certain points, asking why is not even necessary for the process of what's going on. Somebody tells you what it is. That's an elder. This is what you need to be doing. Go ahead, get it done. We don't need the conversation. I think there's a way that conversation can be displayed and expressed that it makes sense to a child rather than just stay in your place.
Mm-hmm.
No, man, and what I'm saying to that, I agree with that. That conversation doesn't have to wait until that moment that you need to check them. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
In,
for
in my
sure,
in
for
my
sure.
sense, in my sense of
Okay.
going ahead to laugh, what I mean by that is you can still drop the hint. You can still let it be known, and it doesn't have to get there. So by the time, because most of the experiences that we're dealing with comes from in that oh shit moment. We don't have to wait till oh shit to teach about oh shit. So when I'm saying laugh with your son, like for example, this is some me and my son do. There is a clear line of what you need to and not be doing. Figuring out how to discipline him. One of the things I turned it into is sometimes I had to tell him up front, I'm not always mad that you did something because I was probably doing the same thing at that age. I'm more disappointed on what your goal was. Like what I'm judging your actions to get to the shenanigans, and we laugh about that while still helping him understand. Like I'm gonna put him on blast. My man's went in, was making some moves within the house, shut off the camera to go get some food that he wasn't supposed to have.
Oh,
My
he
man
wild.
did all of this for a diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh, he
I
wild.
was so mad about the fact it was diet Dr. Pepper. I was like, you had all the opportunity to do anything else in the middle of this bullshit. You went for a diet Dr. Pepper. I'm
And what did you do
disappointed,
after
but
that?
I let him know you can't do nothing. You can't do this type of stuff. We had that talk. You already
So
knew where your actions
so
were, but
and that was so the way that you decided, which is your discernment, was to say you can't do this.
that what I'm getting at is that's in the moment because us being able to laugh about the process while the moment is happening was something that I had to build on the front end and not just wait for those moments. I still
Yeah,
have always reminded, and that's what I'm getting at. I am pushing for more of that because oftentimes for Black men specifically, we typically don't do the coddling. I'm agreeing with Ev that that's something that often comes from the moms. We don't treat friends. We don't do friends with our kids. Most of us already have that baseline as Black
I
men.
want to
So
push
what
back
I'm
on that.
getting at is getting more of that space of like having some freedom while still establishing a line, but you
and before
be
you
able to
go, Nick,
laugh.
Yeah,
before
go
you
ahead.
go, I think a piece of it too is the word discipline is looked at as such a negative connotation. Discipline is
Yeah.
it doesn't always have to be in the form of you
Physical
just
punishment.
did something wrong, so you're
Exactly.
being
And that
disciplined. No, discipline is nigga, you're gonna make your bed, you're gonna wash
okay.
dishes, you're gonna do
And
this, you're
thank
gonna do that,
Responsibility. Yeah.
which
hey,
falls under discipline.
Mm-hmm.
thank y'all for tying back in my keep it clean moment because that's exactly what I'm saying. Don't fault with your feelings. Words have definitions. So if it means this, don't always assume a negative connotation just
Yeah,
because you feel like that's what it means. Thank y'all. Hey, shout out. That's it. Shout out to that because that's what I'm saying.
Real quick
Discipline,
though,
competition, all of that. That's
I want to push back
use it
on the
appropriately.
we don't coddle piece just slightly. In the sense the coddling the for me okay, I'll give you this. The way I see the coddling of boys is the boys will just be boys ideal, right? Of you kind of just placate or you kind of just write off whatever they do as to that's just what boys do. It is what it is, and there's never no real consequence for it. I see that from the women, but I can't say that we don't also do that. I understand what you mean as far as like that we don't baby them so much to a certain degree as far as like with on the nurture side of things, but on the flip side of that, a lot of the shit that we may overlook from our sons or from young boys doing because we know that shit that we was doing or we kind of do abide by in our mind, like, you know, boys be on that type of shit. That is a form of coddling for in my estimation. So I would just that's just my slight pushback on that. I do think
Okay.
there's there's work to be done basically on both sides of better, you know, rearing for the children type shit. But and I do think
Right.
it's coddling on both sides. I just think it goes in different ways a little bit. Like we don't have the emotional tutelage to kind of like give them that side of the coddle, but we do have the the coldness to be like, oh, shorty said what? Fuck that shit, dog. You find another bitch. Like, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Or like, certain women, when you get older, nigga, women just be like that. Whoop de whoop. Like all of that kind of
Yeah, they do.
reinforces sometimes. But regardless, like, but even in that, right? Even in that, there's a conversation about communication and the type of woman that you're dealing with, the type of situations you may keep finding yourself in, and how do we work around that? There's more conversation to be had and more learning to be done rather than chalking it up to, women. Because then you reinforce a certain stereotype and mentality about women that may not apply to all of, like, you still have to find your one woman. So how well do you work now finding your one woman, having this mentality low key about all of them?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's still work to be done. That's all I'm saying. But that was just my little pushback on
And
that.
I think a piece of this is too, I mean, especially with children, you have to know what you're dealing with. Like, I think we do a great job when we get older of knowing the type of people that we deal with and you understand them. So you treat them a certain way and you meet them where they at and you have certain grace. With kids, you have to know with what the fuck you dealing with.
You got to
So
get away from, real quick. You got to get out of having that idea of who your kid is and what your kid is and actually deal with who and what your kid is. Go ahead, bro.
Or let them kid find out themselves.
Or let the kid find out themselves.
Which
Boom.
you can do that, and that turns into a slippery slope of,
What you mean?
hey, you could try to, man,
because he's saying anything could happen if you let that
yeah,
go.
I
And
mean,
If
they
you
might
don't
find
steer
out.
them, at
I don't
least.
I don't mean
Yeah.
don't steer them. I don't mean don't steer them.
Yeah.
I mean as far as like you can have, like, for example, like my dad wanted me to be a rapper, right? Congratulations, nigga, by the way. But it's like in that it's like we have the premise of like you trying to live your dream through your kid. Whatever you didn't get accomplished, you trying to make sure they can accomplish it because you, and that's gonna give you some type of satisfaction. Like at a certain point, you do have to understand the autonomy that your child does have. They got their own mind, their own thoughts, their own desires, and what they want to do. You can tailor that, redirect it, guide it however you see fit to where they can like reach the goal the best way possible. But you do still have to give them that space to be like, what is it that you really want to do? Like,
Because
go ahead, bro.
it's the dance between mandate and guidance. It's the dance between mandate and guidance.
Yep.
Like, okay, similar to the conversations that we were having just the other week. And we were talking about paradise, and then one of y'all had asked, my bad for forgetting, what job it would be a no if your son approached you with. Oh, Nick asked you and I, Rose, right?
Yeah.
So in the same way where I take that and I look at it as more, if I talk to my son and I say, what is it that you want to be? And letting him discover it, whatever it is, but well before his adulthood as a kid. So if he's going there, then I will guide and mandate these fundamentals to help you go see your vision, right? As opposed to me saying no to this, whatever that job is, or no to this automatically in the same way you answered it. We were just talking about older, but if it's a younger one, there's some, there is that slippery slope, and that's where that let me let you do it, but here's the lines under it is what I think of. So I'm gonna go with this route. We said a lot of stuff and we said a lot of things to try to get to the vision. I'm gonna challenge you guys and go one by one and give me in a just one of your examples of a step to getting that, like what you would like to see, what your practice is, and try to like make it more of a direct household to the neighbor thing. Start with the household, get to the neighbor. Give me one step of something that you would do.
So hold on, let me be clear. The question you asking, say the question directly. So I
We
can make
said
sure.
community.
Right.
We need to get back to community. We need to get back to tapping in with each other. That kind of seemed to be the agreement across the board. Give me a step to get there.
I hate to say this. I not even hate to
Of
say it.
what you would do. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, let me add that tidbit to the question of what you would do. I'm not talking about everybody do this, what you would do.
I'm gonna say this just because of my beliefs and everything. I would think probably for me, step one would probably be getting back into the church, like going to church,
Okay.
because that's where you can start community, honestly. And that's how, because in the olden days, that was the first line of community building. So
Mm-hmm.
that's honestly how I would look back into it, and that's doing getting into your communities, hell, vetting your churches because you want to find a church home and everything that you really want to get into and all that. I would say that's the first step in the household, is everyone getting on one accord of a foundation to give unto the children of you're getting them multiple foundations of spirituality, discipline. Because again, from in my vision of it, of hey, when we go to church on Sunday, you got to get in formation on that. You got to be ready Saturday night. It's another form of discipline and responsibility of what you have to do to be ready to go. So it's a multitude of steps that are kind of just done in that form itself, that are fundamental building blocks of foundational things of hell morality. Um, just multitude is, to me, in a family sense of a household, being in a church and following that practice potentially is a very big, you're hitting a multitude of checkpoints when you build that from an early foundation.
Hmm.
So that's
Okay.
how I kind of look at it. Is getting back in touch with the church, because the church is the first outlet to the community. That's the first outreach to the neighbor, to the people, to like-minded sets, to peer groups. And that's, you're around people that hopefully you want to be on the same like playing field with and build together. That's the
All
first
right.
place you could find it, I think. So that's what I would say.
All right.
Um, on a in the house tip of just trying to make sure I build and help to raise a better man. He definitely has his marks he got to hit every day. You know what I'm saying? You wake up in the morning, the room got to get clean, and we'll start graduating that into certain chores and et cetera, and allowances, so you can understand money and kind of get to start understanding how jobs work and all of that on a neighborhood basis. Um, I go to work a little bit later. Some I would do sometimes, like see like if anybody missed school types or missed the bus type shit. Like we had some kids that had missed the bus and they was trying to duck the house, the ring camera. They trying to duck the ring camera type shit because they don't want to get in trouble. But it's like, oh, y'all missed the bus? Yeah, we missed the bus. All right, cool. The school only 10 minutes up the street. Hop in the car type
Hmm.
shit. Give them a ride up to the school. Let they folks know, hey, they missed the bus, whoop de whoop, but it's all good. They still got to school on time. So just little situations like that. I don't have an exact plan as far as like a more broad situation yet. All I can think of right now is just finding different ways to kind of be helpful where I can, when I can, type shit. Like, baby boy growing out of certain clothes, we hit instead of going straight to the Goodwill, we hit around the neighborhood. Hey, it's kids in this house, it's kids in that house. Yo, we got these shoes, we got these clothes. If y'all can fit whatever, y'all can get this rather than we got them. Just go send it up here. But just little small ways to be beneficial at first. I know for us, we probably gonna graduate. We do cookouts and shit, so we probably gonna start graduating to like cookouts, and then kind of putting that towards a fund. You know what I mean? Like we collect this amount of bread, whatever, and then we gonna send this out to whatever's going on in there. Or this person got some XYZ going on. We gonna throw this party, like rent parties, or that used to be, or like dollar parties type shit. But like this, what's going on? You need to raise 500. Whoop de whoop de whoop. We gonna throw a cookout. We gonna throw blah blah blah. We might not raise the whole amount, but we gonna get you whatever we got from that and keep it pushing type shit. But just more being helpful and beneficial to people where I can and when I can, rather than like, nah, fuck that. I'm tunnel vision. I helped the old Asian man figure out how many vitamins he's supposed to take in the Walmart today. You feel me? Like that type of shit. It ain't nothing crazy, but just something small, like make yourself available type thing.
Hmm.
That's
What
my
about,
that's my piece.
what about you, Rose?
Um, I mean, it may sound small, but really it's just probably just tapping in with my brothers more. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to actively build that community because I know I get to the point. I'm an only child, bro. So I'll get where I just won't even talk to niggas. Like,
Yeah,
Hmm.
Rose go missing for like a
yeah,
2 weeks.
I won't even talk to niggas. But it's a part of if you gotta if you trying to build community, I gotta do my part in reaching out and having these conversations and really just linking up more. Like that's the other part too, is like not even just having the conversations, but it's like, all right, bro, you ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing. We ain't really got to do shit. We could just link up. Let's watch a game. Let's go somewhere, sit down and just kick it. Let's talk and like let's build And we don't know what type of conversations will happen from that, but it's like just getting more comfortable with your brothers too, to even like, all right, maybe now since I feel super comfortable, I'll drop my son off somewhere and be like, all right, you can stay and I'm comfortable with just leaving you there. But all of that is through building that type of community with somebody by just building in that small aspect of shit. I'm with this person all the time. I know who this is. So, just really them conversations.
And bring back
Please, please,
kicking it
please.
in the house, man. Like bring
Oh,
back,
bro.
hey,
Yeah.
pull up to the crib, sit down
Look,
for a couple hours. We ain't gotta do shit. We ain't gotta do nothing extravagant, man. We gonna sit
hey,
over here and
real
kick
quick
it.
though, fresh off of Rose Point. Please, please, please grab that isolated brother. That one that only listening to himself, or maybe 2 or 3 people. The one, man, I'm usually just with me. Grab him, please, bro. Go bring him back in. Give that man a hug,
Yeah,
dog.
put arms around that
The-
man.
Yeah.
Put
we
Yeah.
arms
all know
around that man.
there's a 1 or 2 that's been floating around our grab him
For
and
sure.
say, hey,
Some
my
brothers
man.
are lost.
For sure.
Yes, because if he already down that path and he lost, I want the best for you. I also want to prep, slippery slope, Rose. I also want to prep for the other side of where you are lost at. I would prefer to be on your side. I would prefer for it not to be lost on me. Whatever that ends up. Hey, dog, I got this hug for you, my bro. You remember Ray? Ray was there. Ray was there.
Hey,
Bro.
don't come to school tomorrow,
Oh,
brother.
yeah.
Hey, dog,
Give me the tip.
grab.
Let me know. Let me know. Give me
No,
the inside info.
grab him.
Nah, for real though.
Grab him, bro.
Nah, for real.
But for real, in all seriousness,
On a serious,
go
yeah,
get the
on a serious
isolated,
tip,
man.
we losing a lot of brothers to the incel movement. All right, we losing a lot of brothers to the incel movement, and that does not need to be a thing.
Yeah, grab them,
Grab
man.
them.
Grab them.
Grab them. As soon as you see that brother, as soon as your homie sends you some Andrew Tate, grab him. Grab him. As
If it's
soon as
the
he sends you the Andrew Tate link, a fresh and fit link,
if it's the dirty and bloated boys,
any of them,
go grab him.
grab him.
If the
Grab him.
words red and pill come out and he's eager,
Jordan Peterson links, grab him.
Bro,
If he sent, I'm gonna be, all right, we're gonna keep it super clean. If he sends you more than 5 Joe Rogan links in a week, grab him.
My nigga
if
Grab
Joe
he
him.
just
Rogan fire though.
Grab him.
if
I'm
he
grabbing. I
Joe,
grabbed you. No, I grabbed you.
3-4
Joe
hour
I,
episode.
fire.
I grabbed you. Joe be having all them same motherfuckers sitting up right next to him on the show talking that bullshit.
Joe
Grab
fire,
him.
bro.
Grab
grab
him.
him, bro.
Grab him.
Grab
All
him.
right.
If
You
if he
niggas
start
cannot live your life like Joe Rogan. All right. You cannot be Joe.
What
You're
does
not
that
Joe.
mean?
Because what I mean is this. We are not afforded the opportunity to sit up and spew bullshit to a mass audience for millions of dollars on a daily basis at the level that he does. We don't have the access. Hold on. We don't have the access, nor is it as beneficial on the flip side for the money once we run out of being beneficial as a token. You niggas cannot do that. Stop it.
if
Stop
all
it.
he if all his education towards women came from only the likes of Kevin Samuels, grab him.
Grab him. Oh, yo, yeah. Whoa. Real quick.
Yeah.
And rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, because he's no longer with us, so we're not gonna put no ill on his name. But listen, if your homies is still watching Kevin Samuels videos or anything of the like, all right, if the videos start off with too much of, the problem with women is, grab him.
He talked to
If
niggas too,
he
though. By the way,
He did. That's why.
he
That's why.
did, he
That's why I
did.
don't want to put too much smoke on his name. But personally, for
Because
me,
grab
Kevin
him.
Samuels was mean. I ain't even gonna get into
Hey,
all the extra shit. You're just mean, brother,
hey,
and we
because
don't need to
grab
do
him
that.
could also be, hey man, you done reference him about 3-4 times. Just show me which videos you was watching, and so I can
Yeah,
validate and keep it clean with
let's
you.
figure
If
out
you
what's
are entitled to speak like that, I'm gonna keep it clean with you.
if he's
You shouldn't sound like him.
if he's
Grab
watching
him.
any academics videos, grab him. Any
Yeah.
academics videos, grab
if
him.
he if
No
he acts
jumper
in real,
videos, grab him.
if he does the actions that Drewski does in his skits, grab
Yeah, if he do that in real life, grab him. Grab him.
him.
All
If
right.
he doing that, Grab him, pull him
You
in.
niggas have some interesting takes.
I just say grab him, bro. Just go
You
get him.
niggas have some
Just
interesting
go
takes.
get him.
You got to
And
start
let's have
grabbing
it.
these niggas, man. We got to
And
start
let's clean up. Let's clean
putting
up. Let
arms
me make sure
brothers.
you feel
You
me?
Looking them
either
eye to
grab
eye.
them or do what Umar said.
No,
Grab
no,
Ev.
Some
Ev,
no.
of them going to
I
sleep.
got your hug.
Well,
I got your
good.
hug, Ev. Ev, you need a hug, bro?
That is a Republican
Grab
talking
him.
point. We are not doing that.
Grab him.
We're not doing that. No.
Nick, grab Ev. Grab
Yeah,
him.
come on, man. Come on,
Bring
man.
it in. Oh
Sheesh.
man.
The
Okay,
fact that
so
y'all know what I said, I didn't even say it.
But
Y'all
that's
know what I said.
we
So
speaking code.
uh,
We know what's going on, and we not
yeah,
doing
man.
that. We ain't doing that.
Yeah,
No.
man. So all right, so we do have an opportunity to keep it clean. We do have an opportunity because we often talk about community, and for us to keep it clean with the community, we should address the Carmelo Anthony situation. And for those that are unfamiliar, the Carmelo Anthony situation is a current case that's being investigated that happened out in Frisco, Texas, at a high school track meet where Carmelo Anthony, a young black male, had an altercation with a young white male named Austin Metcalf. It ended in a stabbing where Carmelo stabbed Austin Metcalf per his admittance, and he's currently being charged with a $1 million bond. And it obviously has raised a lot of talking points in the community. So
Being charged with
we
murder.
need
Being charged with murder.
he's being charged with murder with $1 million bond. Let's keep it clean. Who wants to start?
I'll start. Yeah, this is self-defense. I'll start there. This is self-defense. From what I've seen, from what I've read, being a police report, from what I've read, being witness statements, what it seems to be, there was a rain delay at the track meet. He was under a tent, escaping the rain. Austin and his brother came over and told him to leave. He told them not to touch him and see what happens. They went to tell him to leave again. They either touched his bag or touched him. We're not entirely sure. Either way, Austin ended up getting stabbed and he ended up losing his life. So first off, rest in peace to him. But secondly, leave folks alone. Leave folks alone. That's the moral to this story. That's the keep it clean of this story. Leave folks alone. If the boy, what's up?
I was going to say, can you give a breakdown of the facts that we know and lay that out there, so
Yeah.
everybody's caught up on like what the current happenings are of the case.
They was at an off-campus track meet, but it was kind of like a school sanctioned situation. So there's possibility of him getting a charge for that, for having a weapon on that campus. But as far as having a weapon on that site, but as far as it goes with the self-defense and the murder charge, he was approached by two people that reportedly are bigger than him aggressively. He gave them warning, told them not to touch him. They either touched him or touched his things, and he reacted. Now, as far as I'm aware, and Ray, you can let us know as the Texas representative, but as far as I'm aware, in Texas, in that type of situation, you don't have a duty to retreat. You don't have to run away. You don't have to leave. And you can defend yourself in whatever manner you see fit, as long as it's proportionate to the harm that you may see yourself to be in. Now, for me, two people pull up on me telling me to leave and get out of tent and all of that. I think I might be about to get jumped. Especially if you get to grabbing me or grabbing my stuff after you told me to leave. So,
And to add more context to it, he was under a tent. This is at a track meet. It had started to rain. The tent that he was under was not the school that he attended.
yeah.
So he was under another school's tent. The other part is the two boys, Austin Metcalf and his twin brother, were not participating in that track meet. So they were on the field amongst the boys, or all the athletes participating in the track event. Carmelo Anthony, excuse me, was under a tent that wasn't his school. However, if you've ran track, and you participated, or you've done field events, you participated in track meets, you know there's often interaction in other schools' tents. It's not designated. It wasn't an area of only these people can be there. It's just more of, we know this is a spot that we could go to if we represent this school, if you're not anywhere else. So him being under another tent should not be the focus of it. To the knife point, in Texas, it is legal to carry a knife as long as it's under or shorter than 5.5 inches for a knife. Often people have pocket knives, cut boxes, box cutters, whatever the case may be. 5.5 inches is the legal limit. The gray area that's being studied right now is, or not studied, the gray area that's being investigated right now would be, like Nick said, would that have been allowed on a school function? Not school, because it is prohibited to have them in most schools in Texas, if not all. But this track meet was not at a physical school. It was a separate facility altogether. So there's some gray area on how that's going to be approached. Just want to add some context to that. Ev, what's your thoughts? What do you have?
I It's tough for me. I agree with all of that. It's just I do look at the situation and the blunt honesty of his murder of someone was murdered here. I do understand self defense. I am
Like murdered? Can we say killed?
killed,
Okay.
but I'm also looking at it where in the same, and I'm just looking at it from legal terms, from the facts that's out there as well. The same way we can say um, it was self defense, we can also turn the same eyesight perspective of it was premeditated because of the weapon being in his book bag. In my opinion, because there have been
Mm-hmm.
rumors saying that there was a matter of fact, there's been facts apparently saying that they had a previous altercation before,
Mm-hmm.
which was kind of saying he kind of was in preparation, and then to say the lines "touch me and see what happens." It can, it could, and I'm saying that because again, he owned up to it. He did it and owned up
Yes.
to it immediately. That's the only, and I'm just looking at it from that aspect of I hope the facts come out to prove it to directly be self defense, just because of how I look at it. I understand self defense if we saying it immediately, but then you also saying it's a it's a different school. The boy, like, and from what I've heard, from what I have tried to research, the two schools are not like close to each other. They're not. They're like 30 minutes apart from each
Mm-hmm.
other in the district. So, and how they're explaining it, like those kids not even in the same neighborhoods to interact or something like that. Like from of localities of
Right.
suburbs and the school district. So it's a where are the how I look at it, the facts presented are just kind of limiting to concretely say self defense or concretely say premeditated. That's what I'm saying. Is I don't see enough for it to just be saying self defense
A
because
key part
go
a
ahead.
key part though, sorry to interrupt, I want you to finish your point, but a key part that is being focused on is he ditched the knife before the police got, it wasn't in his hand, he had kind of discarded it. He still admitted to it, he still said I did it, but he did kind of, he not kind of, he dropped off the knife, however, in whatever fashion,
And
before he was approached by police.
and that adds another layer to it too of like it's just a lot, and it's a slippery slope because then these are kids, it's a school function, it's a lot of factors that are playing in here, and it's a lot of things that we don't know that like apparently they're trying to say that there's video of the altercation, but we haven't seen it yet, so we only going off hearsay. We are only going off hearsay of he was being bullied or he was saying, it's just a lot to it. All we know is somebody was stabbed in the heart. That's all
Mhm.
we know here. That's a fact. And we know how the legal proceedings work in that fact. And
Passed
that's
away in
why
his twin brother's arms.
and we see the narrative being played too. And that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. I just hope that the facts come out to legitimately prove it to be self-defense. Because how the court system was going to look at this right now, I don't see that claim being particularly held up. And that's where I'm like, I'm scared because I hope it is factual and true, and that young man was defending himself. Because I hate that somebody's life was lost here. I hope that all the facts do come out and they are landing in self defense. It's because it's a sad situation for everybody involved, and I hope so. It's slippery, man, and I hope the facts do come out pointing in self defense more than a premeditation or hey, he just in fear or flight mode, he just went and grabbed a weapon. I hope that I hope it don't lean to those things. I hope it leans to self defense more than those things.
All right, Rose, what you thinking?
I mean, Ev said a lot of what I would say, so I'm not going to regurgitate a lot of it. But I mean, I'm kind of with Nico too. Is like leave niggas alone. Like
Mhm.
you get out in public and you think folks playing, everybody ain't on the time you on. You especially if you call yourself jumping somebody. So I mean, I think this is a good lesson in learning. If you gonna try to jump somebody, jump them. Like don't get the opportunity to get stabbed. Like
Damn.
you feel me? I mean, if you gonna do what you gonna do, go ahead and do that. But like you got to know now when people are outside, folks ain't moving like how they used to. So you lucky it was a knife and you ain't get shot in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's my biggest takeaway. It's like it's unfortunate. It's terrible. We don't want to see this, but at the same time, it's like, hey man, leave folk. Like at a certain point, bro, because you don't know what everybody on. You don't know what everybody got on them. You don't know what type of mind state folks is in and all of that type of stuff. So whether you felt justified in it or, he ain't supposed to be under here, whatever it is, even if you feel like that, go get the little security officer. Go get one of the administrators on site. Go do something. Don't take this stuff into your own hands because you don't know
Mm-hmm.
how that's gonna go for you. You might
You
think
fucked around and found out.
you know what I'm saying? And it's
Yep.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate as it is, but it's like, hey man, I'm not, and this ain't a victim blame type situation, but just math. If you never leave where you at and come under that tent and do what you do, I assume everybody goes home. So it's like, leave folks alone, man. Leave
Yeah.
folks alone. And free Carmelo Anthony. The
Yep.
fast way. The fast way.
Uh,
He did. Is this he had a I know he had a GoFundMe up. I know they took it down.
got taken down.
Have they
There are
Yeah, he
there's
uses
it's
a
a
different.
separate site.
I've
It's not
seen other
GoFundMe.
ones.
It's
Okay.
called Give Send Go, and he's gotten I think like upwards of 300,000. Yeah.
Okay. Give
Yeah,
Send Go.
my boys some money.
Yeah, Give Send Go to Carmelo Anthony Fund. He got $1 million bail right now. His lawyers are pushing to lower that and pushing to change the charge, man. We can't let this
Yes.
happen, bro. We can't let this happen, man.
And also,
Yes.
let's do highlight that like the victim's father is also out here publicly saying, "Do not push a narrative of race." That is
Yeah.
not
It
what's
made it
going
feel
on.
like a psyop.
So
It can be. It's funny. I forgot who it was. I think I told Ray. I was like, so we about a quarter into the presidency, and we catch one of these, a reverse stand your ground.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It ain't
Just
the
the way Pops was, I was like, man, this
I
finna
mean, but
fall off the wagon. Like,
I respect it though, because it's one of them situations where it's like, hey man, one is white, one is black, so y'all definitely gonna jump on that. But in reality, if both of these kids is white, if both of these kids, whatever the situation is, like this is some kid shit. Y'all, they might have been on some get up out of our whoop de whoop blase blah on some school pride shit,
Mhm.
whatever, and it just go left. But
Yeah.
again, on the front end, leave folks alone. Check yourself at the gate. Check yourself at the door, man.
And please do your due diligence because even as the narrative got painted in the media portion, we do have a police report out. We do have an amended police report out from all the officers that came. We have witness statements that are coming out, and it's not what it was initially painted to be. And we know how that game is played. So just if you're going to indulge in the conversation and actually have a speaking point, you're hearing me reiterate it once again. Read the facts first, then present your feelings and build that conversation from there. Because it is also something that not only do we need to handle this, but we also need to handle making sure that this does not happen again to any kid across the board.
Facts.
Care about these kids. So what is it that could have been done? There's going to be some self-accountability portions on both fathers. There's going to be some self-accountability portion even with the mothers. There's that self-accountability that needs to be happening with the school. What could have been done differently? And we need to build on there. So please read the facts first. It's out there. It's a .gov. Just go straight to that and get to breaking it down.
And on to build on that real quick. If you are of the belief that everything that you read from the .govs or the .edus or the is flawed and a conspiracy, we don't want to hear from you.
Grab that brother. Grab that brother. Keep it clean.
Grab him and put him in a room for a second though. Like just you know what I'm saying? Because like
grab that brother.
The information, no, but seriously though, the information is out there. It is available. Everybody's not trying to trick you. Everybody's not trying to tell you a lie. It is okay to be skeptical. It is not okay to be skeptical in an unhealthy fashion to where you don't trust anything. If everybody's crazy, you're the one that's insane. Shout out to Jay.
Yeah. So in the situation of the essence of grab the brother, keep it clean, I just want to ask y'all really quick, bro. I know it's a crazy transition now. What is y'all's thoughts on this Ja Morant situation? There's a quick answer. What is are they giving him the Iverson treatment or is he bugging out?
He bugging out. He's doubling down on it. Let's be real. He doubling down because the man already came out and said, "Oh, y'all gonna keep talking about it." Well, he's doubling down. He doubling down on it because in his mind he feel like he can't win. He feel like he can't win anymore. He's doubling down. You want me to call it a buck? That man trying to get traded now. He tired of Memphis.
Grab that brother. Grab that brother.
Listen, Ja. Hold
on. The grenade throw wasn't fired?
Ja. No, the grenade. Listen, it
was fire.
The grenade throw was fire. That's a fire celebration. But Ja, listen, from the Keep It Clean crew to you, I'm going to take my words, throw them out,
that was special.
Block out the noise.
That was special.
You was in a different type of bag right there, but I can't eat like. I respect it. I respect it.
Hey,
I respect it.
David Stern would have had you in a dungeon somewhere getting flogged. You are bugging.
So is he getting the Iverson treatment?
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so because Iverson was just Iverson. Like he rapped, he had braids, he wore the clothes. That's just what he did. I think Ja, like we ain't see. I don't know if we saw Iverson run around with straps. We ain't see that.
We didn't see. We never seen Iverson in the white boy Sperry's with the cargo pants and the button down shirt either. We ain't never seen you. We ain't seen AI in a nice home. We didn't see that. We didn't see him in a nice home and then be a thug. That's what we didn't see. We didn't see that with Iverson.
Self-inflicted nonsense.
He's not the only one doing the shoot. He's not the only one doing the shoot. You know what I'm saying? When they shoot threes, he's not the only one doing that.
No,
listen, bro. You the only one that got caught with an actual gun. That's where we like.
A couple times.
Come on,
he didn't necessarily get caught with an actual gun. I mean, if we tell the story how it was told, he wasn't caught with a gun. He had a gun that was visible.
Which you're not supposed to do.
He didn't go to jail. He didn't commit a crime.
Right, right. I'm not saying
you cheated on your girl and she found out. Are you going to jail? But did you get caught?
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying
nigga, you got caught.
False equivalent. What that boy said, false equivalent.
Wait.
If she caught you cheating, did you get arrested? No.
What he said, bro?
What he said? Yeah, because now if he comes back with something crazy, if I cut hair one time, am I a barber? Like what are we doing here, dog?
The main issue is that he's just too big to be playing these type of games. Like he sell too many shoes. He too big of a player. If this was somebody else, nobody would care.
You was on your way to being the face of the league. You was on your way to being the face of the league, and now, and we see you with a pistol. We
You
can't
messing
do
with the
that.
bottom line. You just
We
messing
tell
with the bottom line of the NBA. Like,
boom. But
He's
the
messing with his own
celebration
bottom
is
line. He's
but the
selling his own
celebration
line.
is fire. That celebration is cold. I don't
If
know
he
what you
would have
think.
did this on the front end before all the shenanigans, he would have had his own celebration. That would have been specific to him. Like, wait. I mean, it still is. It's crazy to do, but
Like you
it would
can
have been
really
one of
just,
those like,
bro. I'm hitting threes, bombs away. What you
bro,
that's
mean? Like,
the
crazy.
come
double
on,
down
man.
crazy, bro. We
Double
just
down
find
crazy.
you this week.
75 racks.
We just find you, and that's what happened. Like, that's
75
like
racks, bro.
pennies. That's pennies
For
for
doing
him.
a
Like,
gun gesture, and you really want to
Not
play
at
them
the not
crazy
at the
games.
rate he's been being hit up.
but
It
we
start
just
the penny
find you,
started.
and instead of you picking up a Glock, you pick up a grenade. I don't know, bro.
Man, that is the wickedest thing. Can we talk?
That's fire. Go
Can we
ahead.
wind before we wind out? Can we just talk about how the 2019 draft class got two of the biggest crash outs ever that are self-inflicted?
Ja
Zion
Morant
and Ja.
and
You're 1 and 2.
Boy, Zion
The
built
boys who are
different.
supposed to be your stars. They're the both.
Boy,
it's
Zion
They're
built
probably
different.
some of the biggest self-inflicted crash outs ever.
Did
it's
Zion
crazy.
hold on real quick? Did Zion redefine bust?
Kwame
He
still
did, because
exists.
I ain't even gonna say he a buzz. It's just it's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
he
you ain't catch what I did.
I know what you know. I know what you
Mhm.
did there, sir. I know what you did there, sir.
Zion,
And I seen it.
yeah.
I tried to go past it.
Is Zion a different level of a first round bust? Like, is this
First round bust into a Naruto belly tattoo is a wicked thing to
Hey,
know
bro.
about you when I don't have enough stats on you to support you on the court.
first round busting on Mariah Mills is crazy?
First round busting on anybody who's on a Queens Flip Network production is wild. What we talking about?
You gonna shoot at all of Queens Flip Productions?
Because what did Queens do?
Like, damn.
Dog, that was a
I'm,
dirty stray.
Like,
I'm
you
just,
know,
I'm just.
Queens Flip a respond. So, like, what
That's
you
my
on right
man's.
now?
No, that's man's. I'm talking about the woman. That
Queens will,
I was making no Queens. Come on, man.
Queens gonna flip you
Oh,
in the
shit.
street when he see you.
Man, we just seen him try to lift some weights. No, we good.
Yeah, Ed said I'll be in the gym. We ain't worried about that. And you can bench 225, huh?
Oh, he hit you with a disrespectful look. If he could have reached to that screen, he would have grabbed you, nigga. Ooh, that was
Yo,
crazy.
stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
I was.
All
I think
right,
we
really
all can outperform the JPP. So fuck them niggas. Like we can all
fair enough.
outperform them in the bench in the
I
weight
don't know
area.
if I
So
can hit a 225, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know.
Based on what I saw on them on the
well, at
court,
least you honest.
I've never been threatened by none of
Yeah,
them
on the
boys.
court we good. On the court we good. On the court we straight. Hey, real quick, for whenever we do, because you know we gotta play ball. Don't be fooled. This nigga Rose got a jump shot that's kind of crazy. His form a little shaky. You might be able to swat that motherfucker, but if he get it off,
Motherfucker
it's
going in.
it's crazy. Yeah,
I
it's a little
suck
wild.
at basketball. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm Cubs
He
off paradise.
you the football dude
Hey,
on the
that's how
basketball
I
court.
suck off
he
that.
Ev a lifter, bro. His
I could
chest
shoot.
passes is
I could
something
shoot.
wicked.
I could shoot a little bit, but
Ev gonna shoot
no.
over the rim every single
Bro,
time.
Ev chest pass gonna look like a rocket. Just coming straight at you, bro. Ev chest pass gonna be nasty. His
Oh,
bounce
dude.
pass, this shit gonna bounce clear into the stands. Bro.
You feel me?
All right, I'm gonna see if y'all got the legs for it. See if y'all got some juice, especially since we got two rappers on here, right? I was watching the game last night. Lakers confirmed to be third seed. Give me your best Shannon Sharp bars. The 3-peat, Lakers in 5. What y'all got?
Fuck.
Who they got first round?
I don't know who they
We don't
got
know
first
yet. We
round,
don't know
but
yet.
they in
Yeah.
5.
Right now they playing the Warriors.
Yeah, if the
Okay.
Okay.
Warriors win out, I think
Ooh.
they play them.
Ooh. What y'all got?
Damn, off the top.
Steph Curry,
Hold
McFlurry, they getting buried. Lakers in 5.
I was definitely finna go there. Hold on. But you didn't did Steph Curry, so now let me regroup. Give me a second. Hold on.
Draymond, Napalm, Ja Morant, bomb. Lakers at 5.
Lakers in 5.
Oh, my lord.
All right. Hold on. All right. Jimmy Butler, Jeffrey the Butler, ain't no other, Brian. Lakers in 5.
Damn, y'all got me last. I don't know. I'm ass. So
You keep it going. You keep it going, bro. What y'all got for me, man?
Damn, I'm trying to think. All right, Trace in 5, catch a case in 5, no face, no case in 5, Lakers in 5. I don't fucking know, man.
Nigga went full off the top.
I don't know, man.
Under Armour,
Look,
Under Armour. Your mom's a plumber. Lakers in 5.
Golden State Warriors, Conan the Warrior, the Ultimate Warrior, Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5.
That was a good one.
Jimmy Dean, Kobe Bean, in between.
Lakers in 5.
Shout out to Uncle Shay, man.
Oh,
I
shit, man.
watch that clip every single time and pull up. The best one, I ain't gonna hold y'all. The best one for me is you can have Harden, you can get a garden, you can get a pardon. Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5.
That shit is crazy. Oh shit. We good, brother. We can roll out.
We good, man. So
We good.
I appreciate y'all coming here, man. I think we did our work, but we would love to hear from y'all. We keeping it clean is more than just a podcast; it's a movement. So this idea of community that we're speaking on also includes y'all tapping in, so that way we can tap in appropriately. Check us, and that way we can build some respect and some community amongst us, man. So please tap in with our socials. Each and one of you brothers, we have it tagged on the video for those who are watching, that you can see it on the screen, but say it out loud for those that are listening. Go person by person. What's your socials? Get them out there. Let them know how to reach you.
It's your boy Ev. Find me at Ev Rogers on all platforms. Follow your boy.
Free Market Nico, right as it is in the tag, on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Rose on Twitter, Coast XX, Instagram, Days by Rose. That's it.
Sleep Bueno on Instagram, L to the Door, Plain Generic on Twitter. And if y'all can't reach him on social media platforms, if you look up a Future Gym Owners fan page, you'll find Ev. You could probably run down on him in person. If you look at Cassidy's presidential fan page, you'll find Nick. And listening to Amon Shumpert's new album, Outside, rolling through Atlanta, you might find Rose trying to help him get his publishing. We love y'all. Come back.
Oh no. You're not finished. Just do that to us. You're not finished. Just do that to us, and we don't get to shoot one back.
And if you need to know what type of shit is that? Black male porn star, hit Ray.
Yes, there you go. Absolutely.
Hey, Ray got the yellow pages on the black male porn stars, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yellow pages is crazy work.
all of the sex workers, you know, if you need recommendations, that brother knows where to get you. Get it together. This has been another episode of the Keep It Clean podcast. Episodes dropping every Tuesday. Like, comment, and subscribe. Add us to your libraries. Ev, Ray, Rose.
Page coming soon.
Have a good one.
Page is coming soon. Appreciate y'all. We out of here.